Thank you very much to the analyst desk. Confusing as it ever is. We're going to go into this game here, Semler, and it's Liquid and Fnatic, and everyone seems to be on Fnatic's side. I want to hear from you as well. What do you think?
I mean, Richard just closed on a very strong point. It just seems like Liquid are playing so much better with Adren right now.
Yeah.
Adren, he stepped up individually. He had a fantastic first stage of the tournament, and I mean, a couple of real solid clutches that put them into this match. And so, you know, I think all eyes are on him right now to see if he can maintain this form, if he can actually, you know, keep having a high impact for Liquid, and that's going to be the key here to actually, you know, kind of put Fnatic on the back foot, because if the Liquid players don't step up individually, they just aren't going to be able to hang with the best in the world that is Fnatic.
Yep, I think you're exactly right, especially when we're playing Dust 2. This is sort of the individualist map. This is where you can really have a high impact, because you can be so mobile, you could be all over the map taking individual fights, and that's exactly what Fnatic do very well. Some of the absolute best players in the world on this exact team for that kind of play. Now, we do have a lot of shot control here coming in from Team Liquid, with Adren just making sure that no one is sneaking around up behind them, and it's going to be, I think, a lot coming down to Flusher here, trying to see if he can pick them off as they make the crossover. If he can't, then they're probably going to get a free bomb plant in here, and that's a little bit bad for Fnatic. Well, there's Flusher taking one, but the aim punch coming into it, and just simply shutting him down. Simple with a fantastic kill, and that's going to be the bomb plant. 4-on-4 recheck. Adren reading in the middle. He's got the Glock close range here. Is he going to try for the burst fire? Chase Hubby is right behind him. Oh no, they're going to group up on him, and Crims will take out the kill.
Yeah, Fnatic right now, this is all about just that mid control. They're going to be able to push up onto Cat and apply some pressure, but the fact that Dennis is on long still, he's going to be challenging Simple fairly soon. Olofmeister's making sure that they're boxed onto short, and Fnatic, they have all the info now to go for the retake. They aren't wasting any time at all. Olofmeister steps up, takes out Simple, and Elise gets wiped out as well. It's all on Hiko, and it's just not enough. Full, easy retake for Fnatic, and that was their plan all along. The way that they focused on mid, they're waiting. They're saying, okay, if you guys go for a B split, we're going to be there to hard counter you with two guys waiting in mid, an extra guy on the B site. It all comes down to whether Flusher, you know, can confirm that it's the Cat push, and whether he's going to be able to, you know, trade one for one, and he did just that. After that, it's Dennis who's holding on to long. They make sure that they have that, and then it just turns into this pincer retake onto that A site, and Team Liquid just couldn't hang. They couldn't handle it.
Right, and we sort of brought up the point, and there was a bit of discussion on Twitter. I saw Lopez tweeting a bit about it. They're sort of playing retake on B-bomb side on Mirage, the last match that we were just in. Well, maybe that's a bit questionable. Playing retake on B-bomb side Dust 2 here is horrendous, but on A-bomb side, it's a very valid strategy. You could definitely do it, and retake just basically means you have no one sort of hard on the bomb side, so making sure no one gets on there. You sort of almost lure them in a bit, but then you take away all their positions. So once the bomb is down, the terrorists want to take up sort of some post-plant positions that are good for the defending, and they can't do that if you play the retake really well. And then, yeah, they have the bomb down and they have the bomb site, but they're not going to win the round. That's the theory anyway. And Fnatic sort of essentially luring them a bit in their Team Liquid, and worked out quite well.
Yeah, now Fnatic are kind of going for that catch-all kind of strategy. 2-1-2, spread out across the map. Have a couple on the extremities, two guys holding solid on the B site. Dennis already starting the party over here at long. Flusha's going to catch Elige, that was in top mid. And really right now, you know, Liquid, they're getting bogged down. They're just getting picked off one after another, and that's not what needs to happen here. They just need to gang up and try and rush somebody, get a rifle to work with, and do some damage. And there we go, that's what I'm talking about. Nitro, he sacks himself, he throws himself in there, but Hiko gets the trade kill. And now it's going to be whether or not Hiko can actually get out there and pick up the rifle, but Olofmeister's not even going to let him do that. Quick rotation from Olofmeister to shut down that gap. And yeah, Liquid just cannot find a single thing to work with in this round.
Now, you see that the patience as well, and the confidence on Dennis, you know, putting a couple of shots for you and sort of randomly shooting, but keeping an eye on his bullet count, and not afraid at all that he was going to get rushed down. Eventually he did die, but still, it's just, you know, some basic confidence here. And third round coming up, because of the bomb plant in the first round, they have the money, and we talked about this on Mirage as well. $800 bonus allows them to buy a round earlier than they otherwise would have been allowed to, so that's going to help out Liquid at least just a little bit here. And a beautiful grenade right to the corner, maybe setting up for a bit of a rush out long. In fact, every single member of the Liquid team has made their way out now. This obviously forces Fnatic back, and because it happened so early, it's a good job on Liquid, but they need to figure out what they want to do with this.
It's so sick. Fnatic, they're like a machine. They're like, okay, we lost long control, fine, quick, boost back up onto Catwalk, get cat control, make sure that anybody coming up here from Liquid is going to get caught out. It's just they fall back. They're like, great, have that part of the map. That's fine, because we'll hold on to the other entrance onto the A site and stop you here. Now they decide, okay, it's time to push for some info. They start getting out into dark, into B halls. They get the info here. They say, okay, nobody's over here yet. And so right now, Fnatic, they're just canvassing the map. They're figuring out exactly where Liquid are going to be coming from.
Yeah, and you saw what they just did, JW and Crims as well. They put up a smoke behind them after they had already snuck into upper. So that means if someone was upper dark, we can tell that nobody is. But if someone was there, they'd hear the smoke and they might think, well, they're smoking enough. They must be all the way in B-bomb side, right? So they're playing some deep mind games as well, trying to cheat Liquid into a false sense of security. Elige making his way up middle, but they're not even realizing that they're in lower dark already. JW is in a beautiful position, and he just spotted the head of Elige. This could end horribly with that grenade raining in as well. Elige practically there, but Simple picking up the one headshot there on Flusher. Might give them an opening. They're trying to make their way up long as well. In CT spawn with spray on one. Goes for a couple of tabs there. Not going to get it. Hika will shut him down instead, and Dennis is so fast behind them here. They need that bomb plant. They got 25 seconds here. This will be a big round for Liquid if they can make it work. Elige all alone. He's getting the one kill in, and it's a one-on-one. JW, here's the big thing. There's 15 seconds. The bomb's going to go down, but Elige, where is he going to go? JW has an HE grenade, which means one single mistake here from Elige. If he's in the wrong position, then he's going to die before anything else even happens. And he's currently up there. JW making his way down CT spawn. There's plenty of time for JW to work with. He hasn't primed the grenade yet, and Elige is a little bit nervous here. JW getting closer still, just with the rifle out, sneaking up there. He's not even going to try for the grenade, it seems. He's going to try for the jump, maybe with the M4. Spots out Elige just a little bit. Goes for it again. There's the grenade raining in. He gets out of position. That's very good. Elige trying to buy time with the clock down here. JW right in front of Elige. He's going to get the round. It's the third one here, and Liquid will pick it up. Fantastic 1-on-2 here. A very young player again in Elige, but that's a very good job. It's hard to keep your focus when you're playing the #1 team in the world.
And that's so sick from JW. He's the big play here. You can see him just completely eviscerating this wing of the offense coming in from Liquid. But that retake, it's all about Elige being on the other side of the box when JW gets that final jump. JW's like, okay, I haven't spotted him. I don't see him on the site. He must be Goose. And he commits his HE there. But if he even spots the shoulder of Elige, Elige is a dead man. That HE goes banking off the wall straight onto him. Yeah. So just Elige keeping his cool, playing the angles, and JW just not getting the correct info to play off of. But that being said, JW, he's not a guy to waste much time. He gets his AWP in this round, and he already gets the first pick to start things off here for Fnatic. So that's so essential. That's key for Fnatic because they're so low on utility. So this is going to put some pressure here on Liquid, force them to make the play.
And they definitely don't want to lose this round either, Fnatic, because then they would be ecoing. So they got to make sure that they keep the economy flowing here. And already with Nitro going down, and we saw yesterday that Nitro was sort of almost sort of him and Dren obviously, but Nitro definitely also playing a huge part in Liquid's win yesterday. So losing him early might not be ideal. I still, because I mean, I was tweeting this earlier, but Simple was here. He was here like 3 hours before doing deathmatch. He was very disappointed in his game yesterday, and he wanted to do better today. So you got to look for Simple as well, I think, to do some damage here.
He is a key player. I mean, he is the guy that they literally brought over from Europe to North America, just because he's got that individual talent. He's got crazy skill. Still a little, still can be a little rough around the edges, but that's being worked on. Well, now we have to see. Adren is going to sack himself. It looks like he's taking point. And they do establish that crossfire in mid, hoping for Fnatic for somebody to peek into mid to try and get the info. And there's Flusher with the CZ75 doing damage. Fair trade versus Hiko. JW will take the peek. Close up, and Crims from platform will drop Simple. That's bomb control now for Fnatic. And it's all going to be on Adren here, all by his lonesome. And Olafmeister coming in from CT will pick him off at range. So Fnatic, they get that entry, or at least the initial kill in the round, and then they just never give up from there. They're getting that information, and Liquid are just not able to find a pick anywhere to, you know, create some movement for themselves rather.
Yeah, and that's definitely a bit of a worry, I would say. I think a team like Fnatic on this CT side, I don't think they need that many rounds. I think if they get up to 6 or more, then it's smooth sailing from there on out. And because they're already at 3 and Liquid are, well, they're actually going to go for a pistol force up here. So that might also be Liquid sort of realization that we need to do something here. Simple, trying for that shot, and it looked like it was about to be dead on, but it doesn't quite work out.
Yeah, this is all about Liquid just saying, well, we're in a double eco scenario, boys. So we eat the double eco and we kind of, you know, get a lot of nades to work with, or we just try and bite the bullet, catch Fnatic out here with some aggression, some early aggression with the pistols. They have some utility as well. Elige with the smoke, Nitro and Adren have smokes as well, so they could try and set up for the B split here, trying to catch somebody off guard. I mean, they nearly made it happen in the last round, so maybe that's what they're hoping for here. But it is tough. And yeah, okay. At least they're still being methodical as well here, Team Liquid. They get that flash up on the short, they start clearing out short, so they get some short control. So if they do elect to go for the B split, it means that nobody can rotate over here quickly from Fnatic. They're going to only have to worry about the man in CT, and he'll get smoked off.
JW covering a very, very sort of narrow angle in the middle here, but just enough to see if anyone's going to be jumping up on the box and boosting up onto Catwalk. So some decent information for him. And the grenades rain in. He's not even going to wait for them. He just immediately falls back. So gives a bit of space for Liquid to work within here, and they've got to be quick about it. They can't really take a long fight with these vehicles. They got to be rushing it down. And there's Leash opening up with a strong kill. He goes down, but look at Crim's actually almost getting killed immediately. He still gets a double in return. He's on 2 health. He's looking for the 3rd click, but not quite going to happen. Adren will take him out, and he's going to be alone. And he has the bomb, but they're just rushing him down here. Adren picking up 2 kills though, and the rifle. AWP in middle. Oh no! It's going to be Olofmeister walking up from behind. That looked like Adren could have maybe got the quad if Olaf had actually been in CT spawn, but it's going to be 4-1. That's a powerful round for Liquid anyway.
Yeah, man, off of a force-fired pistol, they managed to get 4 kills. Adren coming in big again. He doesn't win this clutch like he did yesterday. I mean, yesterday he just had a huge impact for Liquid, but this time, I mean, look at this. I mean, this is a revived Adren. He's just going in here, no fear at all. And you're right, had Olofmeister and Adren, sure, he's waiting to see if Olofmeister's going to come CT, because that's usually where Olofmeister rotates in from. Yeah. So he's looking with that AWP. He was he was spot on with his play. It's just that this time, sometimes the details change, and, well, Olofmeister manages to come through for his team. So Fnatic, they keep control of the situation. They're up 4-1 now on the score. And it is a bit of a touch-and-go kind of buy for them. Olaf decides to go aggressive, gets up close, takes out Dennis there to back him up as well, and this drops the bomb outside of long. So no respect coming in here from Fnatic in this anti-eco.
Oh, Elish.
Wow.
That was a nice attempt. I mean, you hear that AWP go off, you know he's not going to have a chance to reply immediately. Knife coming in here. Nitro, he hasn't actually killed anyone yet, but he's going to be given a kill by JW, and that will pretty much be the end of it. JW trying to knife him. I mean, so that definitely has, I think, on most players will have a mental impact on how you play the game. You start to feel like they're not even being pressured enough that they have to sort of take it seriously. They're running around with knives out, you know. Are we really that bad? Hopefully Liquid don't feel that way yet, but you know, over time it could definitely get to you.
That's what JW's telling him. You're spot on, man. That's exactly what JW's telling him. This is the mental war that's going on here. And JW, that's also just his personality. He's the troll.
Yeah.
He shows no respect. He gets in your face.
I love it.
Makes you earn it.
Definitely love it.
And look at this. I mean, this is also just a crazy angle for him to go for, right? Doesn't have eyes on lower dark, so he just goes for the full commit, looking to suicide. Not going to see anybody, though, so that's some good information for Fnatic to go off of. And once again, Team Liquid, they actually take very quick control of long, so let's see if they can actually act off of this, if they can decide to just commit to the site. It's going to be down to Fnatic to go for the retake. And, well, the last time this happened, JW, he lost the clutch, so let's see if Team Liquid can do it again.
They're making their way up a little bit fast. Simple covering lower dark. That is important. Nitro with a great opening frag, and if he can get him in the game, that might make a big difference. Until that kill on JW, he wasn't even on the server just yet. And Simple is here, making it very hard for Fnatic now to rotate up on the catwalk. So if he stays alive, he's going to get the 1 kill, and it's a brilliant teamwork coming out of Liquid right now with the bomb down, and in a 5-on-3, it should be an unlosable position. And with Crims going down and Flusher to follow, finally it seems like the North American team has found some sort of solid ground to stand on. Elige will be the last to get a kill, and Liquid picking up a 2nd round. Yeah, high fives are in order. Now they got to keep building. And actually, Fnatic not that far away from ecoing, so this is possible. This is doable.
Oh yeah, and they're one step closer to getting that respect. Right now, Fnatic have got to be thinking, okay, time to start taking these guys seriously. We were joking around a little bit, JW. Okay, sure, you tried to go for the knife. Yes, we managed to get the round so far, but Team Liquid are showing that if you underestimate us, we will do some damage. We will actually manage to get a perfect round, all 5 members surviving, just completely shut you out. So Fnatic, they're going to have to, I mean, sometimes they do show this sometimes. I mean, it happens when you're the best in the world. I mean, when you know, you're basically winning everything. You can underestimate players sometimes. They just need to not fall into that trap and start getting their heads in the game early on here in the half.
Well, look at this out in the middle. Fnatic for a moment forgetting that there's such control. Now they're going to be fighting close. Crim's missing all the shots here. JW in a world of trouble, but only for a second, because Adren puts a bullet in his head, and now it's going to be Olofmeister and Dennis left 2 versus 5. Liquid overrunning, and look at that shot from Simple, taking down Olofmeister. It's going to be up to Dennis in a 1-on-5, so obviously just trying to save the rifle at this point here, but that's a very, very fast round, just straight out middle, and what we call the sort of the mid to B split push coming out. So it has a lot of different variations, and so it's always fun to try and look at how teams do it. This one is a very fast one. You could do it late in the game if you want to, and it does also, there's a sort of a difference between if you put 3 members out middle or 3 members in upper dark. You got to sort of that all goes into what you think the setup is or what kind of information you have. If you do it late in the game, you obviously get more information. This was essentially just sort of like a blind throw nearly from Liquid, you know. Maybe they had some middle from how many people had crossed in the beginning, because you always see that from T-Spawn, right? So they had some count on how many people were in B, but they just went for it.
But that's the key point here, is the change of pace coming in from Liquid. They're just going in, no fear. They're saying, okay, guys, you know, if you're going to disrespect us, you know, you pissed us off now. You know, don't poke the bear. Because they just managed to get in there and just completely overrun the defense. And now, I mean, this is really going to put a bit of a check on Fnatic's mental game. Now Fnatic are going to have to get their heads into the game here in the next one. And that's tough if Liquid, you know, starts to gain steam.
And just got to point out again, it is Adren top tracking right now on Liquid. And
he is revived right now.
He's revived to a state that we haven't even seen him in Global Offensive. You have to go back to a different version of Counter-Strike to see Adren playing this way, I feel like. And this is actually mad, isn't it? Hiko going to be picking off Crims, and this, as you said, around with no armor here for Fnatic, so it should be a walk in the park. I say that especially because they have USPS pistols. If they had upgraded CZ 75, especially if Flusha had one, I would still be worried. No matter what, pretty much.
Flusha's the best CZ player in the world.
Yes.
I said it earlier when Cold was doing work as well. Cold also really solid with the USP and the CZ, but Flusha, he always seems to get something out of that pistol. He'll actually prioritize the CZ 75 over rifles in, like, you know, quasi-buy situations, force buy situations. So I mean, something to take into account, but he does manage to find 1 kill in the end. 2 kills total so far for Fnatic, and that's as far as it's going to get. Adren.
Well, he was actually sandwiched in between Olofmeister and Flusha there. So that he could have, I mean, that was already a slightly expensive round. It could have been worse there. So good job again on Adren, I feel like. 5-4. Liquid are starting to make their way back. We did actually get a camera shot of us in the beginning, Semler, but I mean, I put a little something on my jacket just as a
wait for the halftime,
just as a way to sort of show a little bit of support, you know, maybe.
I know. Unbiased commentary. That's us.
That's important. It's obviously important. Oh, tagging up JW as well. It's not too bad. That can definitely help out later on if he gets grenaded on in that B-bomb site.
Right now, I'm really liking the variety that we're seeing from Team Liquid as well. As far as their approach, they just keep changing up the sites. They're constantly going A, B, A, B. Like, they aren't just focusing on one site and becoming too predictable, where Fnatic can start, you know, cheating a little bit, getting an extra man over there early, just to wait for Liquid. If Liquid, you know, for example, were just kept going A. No, Liquid, they're definitely keeping Fnatic on their toes. They're going for A splits, A long plays, B splits. Like, they're really showing some depth to their playbook. So I'm liking this a lot. So far, I mean, a very strong showing, the best showing that we've seen so far from a North American team, but I'm not going to curse him.
No, definitely don't do that. It's too soon, Semler. I'm not a fan of Crim's position over the B-bomb site, but it looks like he's not going to be put under any pressure right now, but he's standing in that car corner, and I just don't think it's a good idea anymore. JW covering the middle, Flusha sort of there as well. They got a bit of a crossfire going on through CT spawn, so definitely don't want to lose that mid control again. But a very, very sort of, I think a common setup here for Fnatic, except for Crim's position. Flashing coming through, they're jumping down into CT spawn. In fact, Nitro and Flusha right next to each other. Flusha gonna have a better angle there, goes down right afterwards to Elige, though, and JW in that corner. That's not a good position either, but he's gonna get the 1 kill before he goes down. Now it's all on Crimson. Look at how many angles he has to cover, and he goes down immediately. Adren actually jumping off the box to get that kill, and Olof and Dennis, they are gonna be left. And in a way, I'm happy that Crim's got tested, because I really don't think that's a good corner to be in. No,
it's like a one and done kind of situation. It's very rare that we see players pick up more than 1 kill from that spot, because you're just, not only do you have to worry about somebody coming over the top of the box, but then usually they'll time it so they come around and they have a man coming below the box as well. So you just get overwhelmed so easily. Yeah, I mean, at that point, it's also just like Crims was the last line of defense there for Fnatic. Such a sick change up there, putting the man into CT. You could tell from Flusha. Flusha thought, okay, they dropped the man into CT. They're going to be coming up catwalk and pushing up onto A site, so he's already pre-aiming that angle. What's this? They come through mid. There wasn't even a smoke blocking off mid. Flusha was completely caught off guard with that play. So again, Liquid just showing that they have some variety in their play. It's really catching the Fnatic off guard, and it's teaching Fnatic not to underestimate them.
And I just want to follow up with that, because you made a really good point about just the smoke in CT spawn. Just for anyone watching in, for new players, that if that smoke goes off in CT spawn, that's usually a big signifier that a B push is coming. If you're in the CT side and you see the smoke going up to CT spawn, you know, and we'll point it out if it happens in the game here. But it's obviously that didn't happen, and you're right. That probably threw them off a little bit. They're simple with a strong early frag coming out, and again, Fnatic back to well, they're forced up with pistol armor this time. And again, we got to point out, especially Flusha, who especially has a deagle this time instead, but he is a very good pistol player nonetheless.
Yeah, just a variety of pistols with Flusha. He can get the job done regardless. But yeah, simple. I mean, Not a whole lot of action for Simple. He's kind of floating around the mid of the pack as far as the frags are concerned right now, but still nothing to be ashamed of. It's kind of Nitro who's, struggling, but then again, he usually gets, forced into the blender first, to get that info for his teammates as the entry fragger. So, we'll see how he develops here. He also had a bit of a slow start on the map yesterday that Liquid played, woke up in the second half, so he's definitely not done and out. But let's see. I mean, now Liquid once again they have that long control, and Fnatic they're starting to feel this out. It looks like because they've rotated everybody off of that B site.
Look at the smoke that's going to go up here. Very interesting from Nitro. So they've definitely prepared well for Dust 2, and as our analyst pointed out, playing Dust 2 against Fnatic could be really dangerous. But and a shot from Flusha, getting the one, looking for more, but they're going to shut him down. Dennis getting a big opening here, but not connecting. It seems with almost anything, and Crims. He wishes dearly that someone would have walked in front of him so he could get a rifle at least, but Liquid just keeping things very, very smooth right now. You start off a match like this being down against Fnatic, you have to be feeling a tremendous amount of pressure, and right now, they're playing like a really well-oiled team. I'm not sure I understand why or how.
I wish I could see one of the screens of the Fnatic players right now, because Flush is like madly typing on his keyboard. So there's a bit of a discussion going on right now for the Swedes. Between Dennis and Flusha by the looks of it.
Flusha typing in Swedish, of course.
Yeah.
How long before we shut them down? Should we give them a bit more? No, I'm just joking. But we've seen this before.
I was getting around with Flusha as well. How are you watching Existence? Are you listening? Are you taking notes on how to call? He's like, well, no. I just tell Wolfmeister to go and wreck them, and then it happens. It's just like, there you go.
Easiest job.
That's kind of what I told her. I was like, yeah, this is how you call it. He's just like, oh, well, I call stuff and it works. And I'm just like, oh, okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Apart from when your team underestimates your opponents and, you start to let them get a little bit of the ball rolling for themselves.
Well, there should be a wake-up call to Fnatic, right? They've lost 5 rounds in a row here. Now they go for the double up setup. Not going to be a connect this time. Simply re-peaks and still not necking anybody. Instead, JW returning in. Great job from our server, just instantly catching that.
Yeah. Straight default, but look at this. There's a change of pace here again. Elise is going to get that CT smoke down, and it's going to catch JW completely off guard. They were already out mid-doors when he's going for the re-peak, and now this puts a lot of pressure on Crims. He's caught in a tough spot. He needs to win that duel versus Elige, and he's not going to do it because in the back of his head, he's thinking, somebody's going to be pushing from upper dark. I have a couple of seconds to be able to pick up a kill here to make it easier for my team to go into the retake, and it just doesn't happen. He can't deliver, and Crims is usually so consistent, so really surprising to see that happen with him. Hiko right now just eviscerating the defense. And Adren decides to finally step in and have his say.
Wow, that's a dangerous peek from Adren, but I mean, it's really well timed with Hiko's peek as well. And the fact that they had Hiko there to begin with just gives them such a big chance. So Flusha stealing an AWP, running away. We're about to see a 6th round in a row here for the Liquid team. This is unprecedented. Not many teams anywhere in the world are allowed to do this against Fnatic on Dust 2. It's very, very impressive.
I'm just wondering, man. We've seen Fnatic drop down from that first seed in the group stages before. Usually, took a little bit out of them, just saying, hey, you like to wreck brackets, you should be getting first seed, but you come in through second, and then you go up against like Envy or something, right, in the first quarterfinal. It's like, no, that gift that goes around on the internet. No, come on, Flusha, come on, Fnatic. They are the heavy favorites in this match.
Yeah, I mean, almost in any match, you would say. At least they're favorites. Not always heavy, but they are always favorites in this tournament. So here's the thing. I mean, again, I want to point out that I think Fnatic are one of these teams that on the T side, they're going to be so incredibly hard to control for Liquid, and because they also have Adren playing instead of sort of their regular player, playing CT sides, it's always more difficult with the standing. So they should be doing better on T side anyway. Liquid. I don't think Fnatic need more than 6 rounds for this to be working out. And they got 5, so I don't want to sort of like take the wind out of anyone's sails here, but I do think that Fnatic are essentially a round away from being able to say, yeah, that was all we needed this round, or this half.
Liquid they still are miles away. I mean, obviously, you can't count a team like Fnatic out until you have 16 rounds on the board and you've won the map. So it's as simple as that. Fnatic, they have that NIP quality from way back in the day when NIP were the same. They could be down 10, 12 rounds and a half and still just, work their way back, grind out the map, and get the win in the end. That was
what we just saw is sort of the accumulation of a lot of hours played, because that angle that Flush is holding is that's like a 1 in 10,000, and the fact that Simple is sort of ready for it, and the fact that Flusher even sort of is realizing that it might have happened is just really odd. No, people don't normally walk on the back line there. It's so that happens every once in a while, but then it's just, I don't know. That was a lot of time that you just saw in something that didn't even result in a kill. But if you've been watching a lot of Counter-Strike, that might have been interesting to watch for you. Alright, Crimson JW outside of the B-bomb site, and obviously they've got no method really of getting in this round, unless they were going to walk into Flusher and he could have got a couple of kills. It's more about holding on to the AWP for Flusher and make sure they don't lose it in this round. It looks like they won't.
See that, exactly. Flusher's all the way back in CT on CT slope, so he's just waiting around. He's going to see if somebody gets greedy on Liquid side, if they're going to push out on the B slope, or if they're going to show themselves at the door. He does get a sick wallbang headshot onto Nitro. But then, you know, Crim's just hoping to do a little bit more damage here. If he can pick up one kill, this would be pretty sweet. Actually, Hiko kind of stuck behind Big Red. Hiko, though, instant headshot on a Crims, and JW, he's going to have to back off, give ground. He's got that CZ75, so if he can hold on to that, it wouldn't be too shabby for him in the next round. Or he'll just die with the bomb.
He does have 13,000, and 2 of the people on Liquid at the beginning of this round have 16,000. So Liquid, I'm not going to be ecoing, obviously, for the remainder of this half. Not that there's much left, but we're at 8 and 5 right now. What? Look at how mad this is. We're at 8 and 5 with Nitro killing 3 members, right? So three kills. So we really have almost no kills for Nitro, and yet they're doing very well. Adren's still top fragging, then Hiko and Simple, and we're going to go into the 14th round here. Scoreline being, of course, 8-5. Simple going to get the kill, crossing in the middle on JW, and what a start it is. Adren charging middle with the AK in hand, and Olofmeister is going to hit them. There's so many members here. Olaf spraying wildly. He goes down. Nitro gets a kill on Dennis, and now it's down to Crims and Flusher here. Team Liquid, just what are we witnessing? Flusher and Crims are going to try and bring it back here. There's still a man down, and they've lost the bomb site. It's going to be a bomb plant, and here's what it is as well. They've got us 2 smokes and a Molotov left to buy time. So Fnatic retaking from short against all these grenades is just not going to be easy.
It's almost impossible, because now they've got the info. Okay, Flush is up here. There's the incendiary going down. It's going to force Hiko out, but no, he decides to cancel it out with the smoke. And Fnatic, I think, are realizing at this point, unless somebody makes a huge mistake on Liquid's side, if somebody peeks out and tries to challenge them, there's the angle there on that smoke, but Nitro's going to be able to get out onto long. It's all about Liquid making a mistake at this point. This should be an impossible situation for them to lose, and there we go. Hiko takes out Crims, and Nitro catches Flusher looking the wrong way. Perfectly done there by Liquid, just committing to the cat push, getting up onto that site. And they just keep, they keep Fnatic guessing at this point, because Fnatic right now, I think they were trying to push onto Cat and really trying to take the fight to him to get into mid and to try and challenge like the lower dark default kind of play that could come out from Liquid, that Liquid have been favoring, because Liquid over the last 8 rounds have just been switching A, B, A, B, A, B, A, B. They finally went B, B. Keeping a list, obviously, but they finally decided to like break that chain. It's just so difficult right now for Fnatic to figure out the pattern.
Oh, look at this. It's a 15th round, last of the half. They use all their money to buy AWPs so that they can challenge Flusher in the middle. And what a start here. Both JW and Flusher already out of the round. We could be looking at a 10-5 first half here, and Adren picking up 1 more kill. Fnatic just feeding themselves to the Liquid meat grinder in the middle, and Crims and Dennis. Yeah, look at Crims. Is that like the Counter-Strike equivalent of a shrug? Just
basically.
Well, it's MLG, right? 360 and all that stuff.
He's feeling the vibe, although I was pretty disappointed. I walked into the player area earlier, you know, in the kitchen, right, where they've got that big basket full of chips, and I had a hankering, Anders.
Yeah.
But I was here on MLG home turf, and there was not a single pack of Doritos to be found. I can't tell you how disappointed I was.
They were here on the first day, so someone must have been going mad on those chips. I don't know. So.
Not even
one.
Not even the cheese, the cheddar one, man. I was looking for Cool Ranch, obviously, because that's the best chip.
I'm sure we can get someone to look into that. But look at Dennis charging out here. Just way too many members of Liquid coming up. They have so many bodies to throw at him if they needed to. And Crims in a 1-on-3 for the final round of this half. And just not enough health, I think, to have an impact here. Tries to go for a bit of a shot there, but yeah, this is just a very, very well played first half for Liquid. And Fnatic, they've got to be just a bit worried. If they lose the upcoming pistol round, things are going to get weird. Hiko with a headshot to finish it, and we are looking at a 10-5 scoreline here with Adren and Hiko tied for the top frags at 15 kills each.
Yeah, fantastic work. Yeah, Adren, dude, where did this Adren come from? We expect that from Hiko, but for Adren to be up there neck and neck with him, Simple with 13 as well.
I mean, we talked about it. They talked about it a bit on the desk. You know, Richard was saying just the pressure being off. He's thrown out of the team, and now no more pressure. Just playing exactly the game that he wants to play here. Very, very impressive. Now you said unbiased casting is important, Samler, and all that stuff, and everyone was favoring Fnatic, obviously, going into it, and I have to agree. But I still thought I had to sort of just give a little bit of hope there. And I'm not saying that's what made the difference, but you can make up your own minds at home. Definitely important.
Okay. So in the interest of balance, right, because obviously that pin, it carries weight, right? There's something there. I'm going to go ahead and balance everything out here on the caster desk and say that Liquid are going to win this, Anders.
Oh, wow.
I went there.
Thanks, Samler.
I went there. Now balance is restored, though, bro. You're going to say you got the pin.
Yeah, but we know what happens.
But I've got the caster curse.
We know
what happens. Let's see what happens first.
If balance is restored, obviously Fnatic are going to go ham here as well. That's how it works, right?
T-side, man. T-side Fnatic on Dust 2.
What kind of an American are you?
I'm the one that wins, man. I get to go French or American. I'm an honorary Swede. Like,
all right.
I never lose.
You never lose anything. All right. Well, I guess we'll see. Look, when you're playing the best team in the world, I think what you said earlier, it's really not over until it's over. You got to carry it all the way through. We've seen Fnatic make comebacks from a scoreline that is way more ridiculous than this. They've been much further behind and still come back and won games. So you got to be careful here. We've got a bit of a replay actually as we're setting up for the upcoming half here.
Hiko literally just made a kissy face at me.
Really? Not at me though.
The bro.
Wow.
The bro is here. We got the replay. I mean, this is a very clear cut. This was basically just completely cutting Fnatic's legs out from under them. They were on the edge of picking up that 6th round. Didn't pan out, but I did see Liquid talking quite a bit. Hiko obviously taking point right now because he's calling the shots. But this is all going to be about the mental fortitude here for Liquid. They need to keep zeroed in on the fact, and it's just one round at a time at this point. They can't. The only team they have a big lead now going into the second half. So it's all about them just maintaining focus and not letting the nerve jitters, like the jitters of closing this match, get to them. Because Fnatic, they will thrive in that sort of scenario.
Now look at this stuff here. That smoke that goes off on the headshot box in the middle normally would make Liquid wonder if anyone's catwalk, but they already have Nitro to check it out. So this is a lot of counter sort of play coming out from Liquid. They know Fnatic aren't playing here, so they can sort of refocus, go out and see if they can take a fight somewhere else, and look like it's going to be long. Adren all the way in the back here, USPS in hand, goes for a bit of a fight, and that might be too much. Yeah, time to just call in the cavalry and wait for everybody else to show up. Fnatic going to try and see if they can make the cross, but already Adren picking up the kill on Crims. That bomb actually almost dropped into the cross, and that would have been horrendous for the Swedish team.
And he keeps peeking. Adren is crazy right now. He keeps peeking. Perfect timing with the smoke, and there was just that gap. He was able to spot out Crims just barely there in the gap in the smoke, and now Nitro peeks out on the short. He picks up the info, spots 1, 2, and he sees the 2, and he's doing big damage, but he's not able to pick up the kill, and they need to fall back. They're in risk here of just getting completely overrun, but Adren just comes out of nowhere and gets another 2 kills in the pistol. What is this? You can't shut this guy down. 3 kills, 3 HP, Half-Life 3 confirmed. It's a Valve major, Anders.
I can't even believe it. It's absolutely unreal. Adren has just turned out to be some kind of Counter-Strike god after being ridiculed pretty much for a very long time. Dennis going to try and see if he can 1v4 this with a Glock and 18 health, and I can already tell you that is not going to happen with 18 seconds left here. Trying to see if he can make it around the corner and at least maybe pick up a couple of kills here, but Liquid going to be picking up the pistol round on the second half. There's simply not enough time for Dennis to do this round, so now they're just charging him in. He gets the 1 kill in, but he can't even make it to the bomb side to put the bomb down, so there it is. It's going to be 11-5 in favor of Liquid, and Fnatic don't get the bomb plant either. Well, it's a good shot at least, and very important that he doesn't die in the last second here. That would be the worst of all possible sort of worlds, but there's a strong chance now that we are going to be seeing a 13-5 scoreline, Liquid over Fnatic.
So sick. That firing squad that was just waiting there for Liquid, and then they just don't even peek. They don't even give Dennis a chance. Liquid are playing on a totally different level from what we were expecting going into this match. We were expecting Fnatic to just completely maul them. And instead it's Liquid, the horse. They're stamping Fnatic into the ground.
You say we, but I'm going to be kept out of this.
Okay, fair enough. I live in reality, Anders. Right now, this is a dream world that we're witnessing here.
It absolutely is. This is very, very far removed from reality, but somehow seems to be happening anyway. Fnatic, as a response, and I don't want to call it sort of a desperation move. I don't think Fnatic are far too skilled and far too experienced to get desperate at an 11-5 scoreline, but definitely it's sort of way of saying, let's take this game back right now. You know, they buy scouts, they buy Deagle and armor and everything else, just to try and see if they could get away with just a little bit of a trick there. Jumping over the smoke, getting a bit of a tag in. Simple and Adren both on about half health.
And they just aren't quite finding it because it's a bit of a fair trade. Fnatic getting tagged down. Olofmeister, he's waiting to see if Nitro's crouching. Is Nitro going to have any help? There is a bit of a bait. That's Elige holding up on Catwalk, trying to draw attention to himself so that Nitro can find the timing to peek out. But Fnatic, once Olofmeister gets up there, he clears it up. He spots the man on Catwalk. Now he's just going to be calling to his mates. Okay, there may be a quick rotation coming in, but Dennis managing to find Hiko. That's huge. Now the wave begins. Now Fnatic begin to rush onto the B site. 4 players are going to go crashing in there. Olofmeister is dead, so it's down to the remaining 4 players here for Fnatic to lock down this site and set up the after plan.
4 on 4, you're absolutely right. They're coming in 2 up a dark. Stay alive, he has to get a kill. He's going to get the headshot there. That's a massive kill in the round. Nitro going to be going down. Elise trying to get up from behind. He hits a headshot on Dennis, and Flusher is still alive there. Crims in the back line. It's into a 2-on-2. They've got time to defuse, but they need to get on this side, and it's all on Leash. And Fnatic now simply running out of the bomb side and making sure that Leash has a really tough time finding the last couple of kills. And he won't. Crims picking up a 3rd in the round. Beautiful play here from Fnatic, and very, very smartly done. As soon as Hiko goes down, and I think Hiko could be blamed, I think, for a little bit of impatience there. You see, sort of, he was just hiding in the corner when he thought, I should go and check up a dark.
Exactly.
And that instantly sort of throws around. I do want to get, I mean, you've been crediting Adren all day here, but I do want to credit Adren for not taking the fight in window. If he crouches and just sprays with the FAMAS, he dies almost 100% of the time, and then the round is lost immediately. We do have 4 HG grenades, Samla. I'm loving this.
Yeah, where are they going to go? It looks like a few of them are going to go in through Longhouse. JW. Just far enough away, and now he's going to be able to spot Adren getting across the gap as well. Not going to get punished. That HE instead goes in, but they do manage to back off just in time to avoid taking the damage there, Liquid. Still a couple of HEs left, however, in the arsenal, so Hiko and Nitro, we'll see whether they decide to use those. Simple has got his scout as well, and he's just posted up on that B site, so nobody is there to greet him so far. Instead of Fnatic actually go through this choke point, if they decide to rush up Catwalk, they're just going to get nasty here.
Flusher landing some decent headshots. It seemed for just a brief second I thought that was Dennis with the jumping Galil, but not going to be the case this time. Nitro trying to put out some damage, and Simple got a scout kill on the back lines here. Again, any little kill is going to be vital, even if they are going to find a hard time winning this round. Oh, what? No scope, jumping scout on Flusher, and now it's all on Hiko. They've got very little health. 1 bullet on either one is going to work, but he gets aim punched. He can't find the kill just yet. And turning around for it, he knows that Crims is up there. He's in a sandwich. He has to get some sort of absolutely miraculous kill. Being shot in the back. He himself is now on 6 health, and they've got him boxed in very well right now. Takes the jump a 3rd time, and that's going to be the end of it. Fnatic will only barely win this round, which is going to be a bit scary, isn't it?
Yeah, but those sorts of situations are where Fnatic excel, right? You see the mind games coming in as well, where JW, he shows himself on long, and then he takes advantage of the smoke to work his way up onto the A site. There to just buddy system with Crims. Hiko, he didn't stand much of a chance in that sort of scenario.
Yeah, but because of how low JW was, if Hiko hits the first shot, then Hiko has a really, really, really good chance of winning that fight. He almost certainly wins the last 1v1, right? So that, I don't know, that was just a very, very frightening round.
But way too close for comfort, at least.
A little bit too close. Now they're in a pretty good position, I would say. Fnatic should make this 11-8. And if you just told me, hey, let's start a game on Dust 2, scoreline 11-8, Fnatic with 8 rounds, Liquid on 11. How many times do Fnatic win that scenario? I'd say like 9 times out of 10. Yes. I think that they're just that good of a team.
Yes. No, this is well within Fnatic's comfort zone still. And so Liquid, I mean, winning the pistol, that would have been that's magnificent, right? If they could have just carried on, got that 3-round buffer before Fnatic were able to afford to go for a big buy round, that would have changed a lot. Now, instead, it's just Fnatic regaining control of the situation. Dennis will get caught out. So Nitro finds a headshot on him, and we'll see if he's actually able to pick up that AK. He will, but Olofmeister's posted up in Upper Dark. And so Nitro boxed in. JW is going to find him. He herds him up, but he doesn't actually need Olofmeister's help in this scenario. He wins that fight straight up, saves the AK. So everything works out perfectly here for Fnatic. A much more clean round here in the anti-eco.
Yeah, absolutely. That money's looking pretty decent on the Fnatic side. Obviously, Liquid going to be sort of using all that money in this round to make it work simple with the AWP. And I must say, he looked pretty consistent in the first half. We didn't see like the most ridiculously flashy shots that he really can do, but I'd much rather have consistency. He's going to have to step up big now. And Olofmeister with the AWP with the spawn for long, going to try and see if he can run for it, but he's not going to find anyone there.
No, actually, Team Liquid, they were focused a little bit more on Catwalk, it seems. Maybe a moment's hesitation on their part as far as what the plan was. Because now they don't have long, and Elysia's going to work his way up to Cat to try and take a little bit of a peek. But they're kind of in the dark here, Liquid, so this is a little scary for them. They're all just kind of bunched up, and then they finally decide, okay, maybe push up onto Cat, but it's only going to be the single man. That's Elysia taking the peek there. What is going on with the defense? They're all over the place.
Yeah, they definitely are. Nitro getting tagged up a bit, not too much. He's going to be alright. In this position, you can see him looking through the box here. He wants to sort of notice and set up and maybe shoot someone coming middle for a B split, right? And I don't know if I'm a big fan of this. He's going to be forced out and just not a chance there. At that point, you might as well just sit in the fire and try and get a straight trade. There's no point in trying to like do more than that and ruin your recoil as a result. But this... I don't know what Liquid are going to do here, because they've already lost the bomb site, whether they know it or not. Unless they can get 2 quick kills before the bomb goes down, I think they might as well just save immediately.
Simple still got that op, but he's looking towards mid. He's not looking towards the long cross. He's counting on his teammates with the rifles to do the work there, and it's just not going to happen. HE's sailing into CT, doing some damage as well, and Fnatic, they will get that bomb plant. It's a favorable plant for them as well, and yeah, I mean, this is the correct choice to make, though, right, Anders? I mean, you don't have much money to go off of right now. It's actually, you know, you're scraping the bottom of the barrel, so you actually have to hold on to all these rifles, or you're on a hard eco in the next round, so... Liquid are making the only choice that they really have. Back off, try to save the guns, and hope to be able to stop Fnatic in the next one. Olafmeister, though, yeah, just you give him any sort of opportunity, and he's going to make you look bad.
And he spotted the second place, so he already knew that someone was going to be closer as well. Dren goes down in the middle, so this project of saving the rifles are left really not working out too well. Simple gets a kill, JW jumping around, he actually get both those kills. Nitro, he just missed his opportunity by a second there. So that is going to be another round for Fnatic, making it 11-9 and moving into the 21st round here. Liquid without money to buy, predictably. I mean, I don't know what they could have done differently that round. That one kill on Catwalk, because it wasn't traded. If it was traded,
that was the beauty of it, right?
That would have been something.
The angles, Fnatic, because they throw that Molotov, they know he has nowhere to go but forward. And so they don't even peek to allow for the guy who's holding up on Catwalk to get a refrag. They don't even show themselves. There's just no hope at all for Liquid in that scenario. And now, well, this is turning into a bit of an eco beatdown. Nitro trying to do the best that he can, but the HC's going to dunk him. Dennis managed to pick him off, and Dennis just going ham right now on long. That leaves Simple alone over on the B site. So Fnatic, they keep total control of the situation in the end. They have the rifles, they have all the utility. They don't actually have to spend, they don't actually have to use anything. So it's almost a free round for Fnatic, just money in the bank.
Simple. Yeah, I mean, right now, the absolute best case for him is that they come and hunt him and he gets a kill, steals a rifle, and makes it out of the round alive. Yeah, that's the best that could really happen right now.
And they don't even really need to aggressively hunt Fnatic, because they know now that this was pretty much a hard eco out of Liquid. And so there's absolutely no reason to aggressively hunt and try and get something off of Simple. Don't risk donating him an AK. Just take your time, check your angles, make sure you're going to survive the bomb blast.
Now, the one thing is that Liquid have sort of on average about 2,300 or something in the bank, and because this is going to be the 5th round they lose in a row, they will have a hell of a lot of money going into the next round. They could really buy pretty much anything they want, so we're going to see if that's going to make a difference. I don't know if they would risk it. Of course. It's always.
He's like, come on, man.
I really wanted that. Well, so I don't know if they're going to risk going for the double up setup. There might be a change. Once the Fnatic made, Adren has just picked up one, and you could maybe guess that Simple would go for the second one.
Let's see. Oh, this is the JW
talking about it.
Mad 180 spray, single spray.
They still haven't bought that second up yet. There we go. So there was a big conversation there. Whenever it takes that long for someone to buy, you know there's a sort of an internal discussion of the team. Should we do this? Shouldn't we? And they are going to go for the double up setup. Something that has brought many CT sides out of trouble on this particular map. And JW, though, is going to be shutting down Elysia, who, from beyond the grave, takes down Olafmeister. Fire and everything.
Yeah, that was super sick. Olaf just fully committed to that fight. And so a fair trade at long, 4v4, and now Fnatic, I mean, they have the bomb in Upper Dark. They have 3 players there as well, very quickly. So I'm curious to see if they're going to try and change things up, change the pace, and try and push. I mean, Hiko's lying up in the cut, really close to the entrance to Upper Dark. He's going to be counting on Simple to draw attention to himself onto that B site. And basically, I mean, just that element of surprise. He set an ambush, and he's just hoping that Fnatic will walk into it.
This works well as long as then no one's coming middle, which we could tell JW is. And if JW is allowed to sort of walk out, if Adren doesn't catch him up from the A-bomb site, then suddenly the setup that they have, which I think is a good one, but it has a lot less potency, basically. Simple looking towards mid, and Hiko still hiding in the corner. No one spotted him yet. He's actually walking under them. They're already inside. They killed Simple. There's Hiko spraying one. He continues. He gets a second, and that might actually just bring it back enough that they can win this round. They got 45 seconds in. JW going into the middle. He takes out Adren. It's a really good crouch peek in there. And Nitro, well, this will be the clutch of the match, I think, if he can make this work. A very, very important round here for Team Liquid. And Nitro, he hasn't had the best game. Probably one of the worst games he had in a while, actually. And he's just going to make it out. He feels like saving the AWP, and he might not be wrong either. Is the better choice.
Yeah, I can guarantee you that Adren is, if not double scoped, he's just scoped on doors. And so JW's coming like under the scope.
Yeah.
Free kill for him. Brutal start, really. And Hiko, that's so unfortunate that, I mean, he gets the 2 kills, but it's just not enough. He doesn't have enough of an impact because Simple just gets swamped right at the start.
Yeah, and you know, because Simple is looking at the doors, and because obviously JW hadn't even pushed in there, Simple probably already makes the call to Adren and says, no one came middle. They all came from upper, right? So because simply, oh, nice shot from Nitro. That is really important. But because they simply didn't have the information, they were always going to be caught off guard by JW being there. So just, it's nobody's fault exactly. It's not like Simple could have known, but sometimes having not enough information could really hurt you.
And we're seeing the replay here of Hiko crouched in the corner. Crims realizes that they haven't checked this spot. Yeah, exactly. He turns around, but it's not fast enough. Hiko gets that element of surprise going. But that also just says, you know, how consistent Crims is. Even in the chaos, even in the rush, he will still actually, you know, be like, oh, wait. Hold on, there's like a mental map going on where all the spots, you know, that they've looked light up as green, and he's like, wait a second, there's a red spot right here. Hold on, we got to check that real quick. And Hiko's just like, surprise! Like, yeah, hey, Hiko.
I think right now, if you're a Team Liquid fan, you're gonna have to like really, you know, show some love in the chat. I mean, they need it right now, some love. They got to be sweating bullets here. This is turned into a really ugly match.
Yeah, it's 6 rounds in a row right now for Fnatic. And I mean, and this all off of Liquid actually winning the pistol. Yeah. So how frustrating for Liquid right now. And it's good that they actually elect to go for the pause. And it is, yes, it is Liquid going for their tactical pause. But I mean, they're not letting it get too far out of control. They've lost 6 rounds in a row, but they're not out of the map yet. If they can turn things around here, they do have just enough to go for the force. I mean, if they can turn things around here, it's still not over yet, but it's getting pretty close. There's a lot of pressure now mounting on them.
But in the rounds they have lost, they have also not sort of done enough damage to Fnatic that Fnatic are on the brink of ecoing or anything like that. So Liquid would have to win not just 1 round, but they'd have to win like, you know, 2 or 3 rounds in a row here. They'd have to make this sort of 11-14, and then they could probably just like walk it home, you know?
It can't get any harder for them right now because of the bank that's on Fnatic. By the time that Fnatic are like eco range, right?
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, round bonus plus bomb plants, we're full buying anyways, right? So it's just not going to be easy at all for Liquid to close out the remaining 5 rounds here to, you know, that they would need to actually get a win. What they do though, Anders, you get a couple rounds, let Fnatic win again, reset their economy, you know,
keep going.
Just think that way, right? You know,
I'd like to see maybe a bit of a switch up. Like we saw Fnatic do it with the sort of the walking into upper dark to get some control, right? Because what we're really seeing here is that anytime Fnatic is allowed to put an execute in, those B bombs that executes have been really good, right? So as soon as they get enough map control to set up the smokes and the grenades and everything else, things work out quite smoothly for the Swedish team. So if you take some map control, especially maybe upper dark, you take a lot of that away from them, right? You make sure they can't do that. I'd love to see something like that from Liquid here, instead of letting Fnatic dictate the pace of the map here. Olofmeister, again with the long spawn, but this time he doesn't really connect with anything. So we're going to see Dennis fast out the middle. The bomb is still in T-spawn, but they're actually rushing and trying to see if they can sandwich this B bomb site. What is this push from Fnatic? Dennis, no one knows that he's here, and he's going to pick up the one shot in. Simple, being caught in the corner. He's got a UMP as well, the worst possible weapon to try and defend, but he still picks up a kill anyway, and turns around. What? Simple takes down Flusher as well. That is really not supposed to happen.
No, that is definitely 100% not supposed to happen. Through the smoke, Flusher just hoping to get lucky, and he gives away his position. He was already tagged up earlier as well from Hiko.
There's something wrong with Simple.
They're so low right now. I mean, Anders, they're not out of the woods here. Liquid, 15 HP on a leash. Simple with 17. I mean, they've taken some heavy damage. So if Fnatic, they decide to group up, it can get nasty. The only problem here is that you have 2 AWPs on Fnatic. That doesn't make for fast play. I mean, JW with the CZ, Olaf with the P250, I mean, they can still be quick on their feet here if they want.
The other thing is, Liquid are entirely out of grenades, and Fnatic have so many. So if it comes into an after plant, then I think Fnatic will have it. They got to stop them before they get onto a bomb site. And right now, we can tell they're not even in position to. Adren is going back here, and that might be big. If he gets the opening frag, then it should be a home run here for Liquid. And instead, are they actually going to commit to this? They got about 30 seconds. Look like they will. It's all going to be an Adren. Flashbang goes in. Want them to jump down into CT spawn. Adren, nice flick to take down JW, and he gets a second on Olofmeister. Adren has really turned up here, and look at this. Crims, he has to run up onto Camel, pick up the bomb and go back, and he can't do it. Elise will shut him down, and that's going to be a round for Liquid. 12-11. The first one, or actually, sorry, the second one that they're going to get in this second half of the map. Adren has got 20 kills. He's tied with Dennis for the top of the lead here. This is incredible. What a game this is.
Let's wait and see. I mean, yeah, just Adren. I'm just so impressed with his level right now. Of course, he just walks into a one headshot here from Crims, but still, he does everything that's needed from him and more. It would have been fine if he just got one kill, fell back to long, allowed them to plant. You could have played like that, but him just getting 2 kills wins the round for his team. And now look at this, the change of pace from Fnatic again. They might have got the last round. Now they're going straight up, straight B rush, and they can have a chance of resetting Liquid's economy. There's so much pressure now on the North American team to get the job done and hold, but it's just not going to happen. The bomb will get planted here for Fnatic.
Hiko, one more bullet on the flush, and he would have at least had the double kill. That would have put them in a 3-on-3. We talked earlier about how hard it is to retake the B bomb site. And Fnatic still have 2 Molotovs. They could buy oceans of something. Then just got to be running away. Hiko, that's a perfect choice here. There's nothing else that they could do right now. So what an aggressive push coming out. I think if Hiko had got the double, they would have probably thought we're going to risk it and try and retake. But 4 versus 3, maybe they didn't know how low Flusher was already. And with all the grenades up, it's just not worth it. I do want to point out, and I hope we're not sort of focusing too much on this, but sort of the irony and almost the tragedy of watching Adren play over the last sort of year or more has been that he's all the time kept up this super cool YouTube channel where he does all these like great strategy breakdowns, shows that he has a really deep understanding of the game, and everyone keeps saying, "Did you know all this about it? Why aren't you playing this way? You know, you're giving all this great advice out, and it is good advice, but he just hasn't been able to sort of do it himself and
translate it into the game."
Yeah, there's been some sort of disconnect there, right?
And it's also, I mean, it's something that's also been worth mentioning by the desk. It looks like we have just a straight pause this time. So not a tactical pause, might be just maybe a mouse problem, maybe just a peripheral problem, but that'll get sorted out quickly, I'm sure, by the admins. But it's the fact that he's been the butt of like many jokes, and a couple of the outspoken analysts who have really taken it to him, Richard and Thorne, they're on the analyst desk right now. They are prepping for this match, but they have been good enough to recognize, like, actually this is a totally different Adren that we've been seeing. He stepped up yesterday. I'm sure they're going to say that he stepped up massively in this match, and they they're not just like, they don't have like that axe to grind where they aren't going to recognize what they're seeing in the matches in front of them. They are going to say that Adren.
I feel like we've all had our sort of a punch at Adren, and we've been looking at the high life. It's been really good. I've enjoyed it.
Well, but NA's been the butt of. I mean, you also realize, right, that this is the closest that a North American team has come to actually getting out of the group since, what, 2014 Cologne, when Hiko with Cloud9, that's the last time a North American team got out of the groups out of a major.
Yeah.
How ridiculous is that?
It is very impressive, and it's obviously it's what we are hoping maybe a little bit for this major. Once we go to nationwide, we can obviously expect. I mean, I think the audience, no matter what, is going to be amazing over there. But we've seen some sneak peeks of sort of the
they released one picture.
It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. Well, we hear be backstage. There's a couple of them sort of going around, right? I think look very cool. But obviously, if you had a sort of an American team, that would be something else. That would be incredible.
That's the cherry on top.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure the North American fans, it would be great if there was a North American team to cheer for, but I'm sure that all these fans, like, this is a massive event that's happening here on home turf. It's the major, it's a $1 million major. They're going to be, true CS fans. They're going to be there to watch, like, God tier CS be played out over the span of these next 3 days. But yeah, if Liquid are there and they're the first team to basically break the losing streak that North America has had in every major,
going out of the group flawlessly, not even sort of just winning both the games,
straight into the quarterfinals, and they have all of tomorrow to rest up, get prepped for their next opponent. It would be huge.
What we are getting ahead of ourselves because the scoreline is 12-12, right? So but still, it's quite impressive what they're doing either way. The one sort of downside that I can see to any winning sort of the one part of the group stage here. So Moses is going to be insufferable.
You know where Moses has been this entire match? He's been like clenching his little fists, standing behind Liquid.
That's true.
Right?
He's
like,
standing right behind him.
You could feel. Like,
I wish we could get the camera on Moses.
I know,
right now.
yeah. Or it's just like the will, like he's just like feeding them to his energy. Like, please, I believe, Hiko. I believe you can do it.
I think he's actually sort of biting his nails a little bit.
He just keeps like holding his mouth too, just like, you know, he's like trying to not to like hyperventilate, you know, like just the nerves, man.
Well,
but I believe in Moses. It's all right. He's keeping his cool. Of course, you know, he's got his. He doesn't have the hat on though, so I'm a little disappointed there.
Now, we do have the game resumed here, and again, if you are just joining us, you could not possibly be showing up at a better time here. It's 12-12. We're going into the 25th round. It's a tied scoreline between North American Team Liquid and Swedish Fnatic, and obviously it is still in the group stage. It's the winners match. The losers don't go out of the tournament, but the winners, they make it through to the quarterfinals, and obviously there is a lot riding on this one match here. It's very, very critical, and you've got to think maybe a bit more so if you are Team Liquid. Adren going down early on to about 22 health, and Olofmeister and the rest speeding up that work on B in the shot. See if they can work on A as well. Elise getting a counter headshot, getting a second kill. Could he get a third as well? Nitro has gone down already. Elise doing massive work up on the catwalk. Flush coming up from long instead. He sprays down to Elise. Gonna put it into a quad kill now. One more kill for the ace, and it's a 1-on-2. JW, he's got the bomb, he's got the time, and he's gonna try and counter rotate, but Hiko already sees it coming, and they're gonna actually group up in CT spawn. Why not? As long as they don't fight in the JW one at a time, they have a very, very good chance of doing this. But you gotta think at this point, if there's any justice in the universe, Elise is gonna have to be the one to ace Fnatic here. That seems like that's appropriate at this point in time, and JW is playing some absolutely mad mind games, putting up the smoke, seeing if he could actually walk through it. He's out on the other side now. Liquid. Oh, he gets a jump in, and now Elise knows where he is, but JW back for the smoke. I don't even know what level of Counter-Strike this is. He fakes the bomb once. JW gonna try and see if he can walk out. He's very low on health. Elise on the other side. Grenade gonna be going in, and Elise, is he gonna try and charge me? Runs in. There's the ace! Oh my god! Elise acing Fnatic in the 25th round to put Liquid now only 3 rounds away from winning this match.
Let's get a replay of this, because Olofmeister played a massive game of peekaboo here on Catwalk as well. Both of them just dueling it out. It wasn't until the smoke bloomed that Elise just locks onto him, picks him off. What a sick play from Elise. That's the second huge clutch that he's won so far for Team Liquid in this match, and both of them in crucial rounds. So he is making the difference right now, Anders. He is having that impact for his team. Again, somebody gets tagged going across. I mean, if anything, JW's been very consistent doing damage with that op from the gap, but this is going to be a bit of a reality check right now for Fnatic. They're used to winning those kinds of clutch situations. The fact that they've lost one now near the finish line, that's going to fire Team Liquid up.
If Fnatic lose this round, they're going to have a really hard choice to make between either forcing or ecoing once and then potentially sort of putting Liquid onto match point. I mean, they're going to be in a weird position. Some of them will have money and some of them won't, because the round loss bonus is still not there. So it's going to be just a little bit dicey, but we're not there yet. And Liquid's money, you could tell from the buy that they have here, it's horrendous as well. They really just don't have a lot.
No, they're lucky. I mean, they managed to actually pick up the AWP and save that for Adren. But there we go, being a little bit more thorough, not just running in bravely the way Olofmeister did in the last round with no flash. This time they go through the motions. Fnatic, they get that flash down, they clear out Catwalk, and there's that B split smoke they were talking about. Blocks off CT. Anti-flash is going down, however, no, that's actually a Fnatic flash, the team flash, Dennis. It's a little scary there, a little bit of a scary moment, but Fnatic looks like they want to try and follow up on this, perhaps.
Well, maybe because of that flashbang, they actually have to waste a second smoke going in there. Flashing one more time. Nitro setting up for a bit of a play. Trying to see if he could do it. That underhand flash through could definitely work. This is a strong defense on B right now with Nitro and CT spawn as well, and 2 people on the side, especially with Simple close here, the max 7. Molotov goes in, 1 flashbang, he's going to go for it. Gets the first kill on the bomb carrier, but Olofmeister with a fantastic double return. Crims taking down Nitro, and Fnatic showing us exactly why they're the best team. Just walking right in and winning so many of those battles. Adren here looking, got to be careful there.
So efficient though, that's the truly frightening thing. When Fnatic go into like Juggernaut mode, where just nothing stops them, even Simple up close at the mag, he took just a little bit too long, and Olofmeister gets him. Olofmeister clears out the second man on the site, and then they're just so aggressive, peeking into mid, catching out the mid player. I mean, Fnatic, it's just everything falls into place. You can just see it like this. It's like a metal puzzle basically, and all the pieces fit so nice and neat together. It all just clicks.
Unleash. Going to be taking down all of Meister. And again, now, especially as we're getting into the very late stages here, every single rifle save from either team, but maybe especially Nico right now, is going to be critical. So Elish staying alive for the moment. He gets a headshot on JW. That's huge, absolutely huge plays coming in here.
No, they'll have the money.
Obviously not to win the round, but saving these rifles here, it could be the difference between Liquid essentially having another buy in them or not later on as well.
And I was a little bit concerned about JW getting picked off that way, losing his AWP.
How does... Oh, look at this madness. We couldn't see that from the other angle. Both Simple and Hiko should have had a line to Olof.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Anders, talk about the big plays here from Liquid. They do not want Fnatic to get the lead in this. Wow. They are not going for an eco round. They're going for a force buy here when it's all on the line.
Wow.
They will have... I mean, they will have no money if they lose this round. They are backs to the wall at this point now, Liquid.
Definitely didn't see that coming.
Neither did I. Thought they would let Fnatic get up to 14, bank a little bit, and actually, go for a reasonable buy. This one, man, they're really stretching themselves here, Liquid. But if they come through, this is going to set Fnatic reeling. They only have Crims on Fnatic with any money whatsoever. So this is it. We're nearing that finish line, and Fnatic are trying to lurk their way out onto the B site, but they've been spotted.
Oh, that Molotov actually fails from Simple now. Hiko in the corner with the C-set. He's going to get the rest of the almost out of bullets as well. He can't even reload it. Hiko, he goes down. Simple close. This is one-shot range with a 5-7. Going to take a couple of bullets, and he goes down afterwards. It's a really good effort in this B-bomb site, but might not be quite enough here. Elige and Adren. These rifles they saved last time. Do they want to give it up now? Trying to retake the B-bomb site? I don't know if it makes any sense. Elige seems to want to. Flashbang in, and he goes for the spray. He can't connect. Crims will survive. I have to wonder, I don't know if it would have made a difference, but a little part of me now is going to wonder what would have happened if Simple hadn't missed the Molotov.
Exactly. If he hadn't missed the Molotov, I mean, he did get the kill on Olafmeister, and he did try and play for time after that. But yeah. Fnatic, they were just like, okay, we know where you're at, Simple. Actually, we'll just watch for the guy to get over-aggressive at doors, pick him off, and then worry about you later when you feel like you have to make the play after. I mean, that's exactly how it played out. They catch the rotator, and then they just worry about Simple afterwards. Fnatic, just ruthless, so methodical when it comes down to taking these sites and making just smart decisions, basically, when it comes to taking these sites. Super sick play coming out from Fnatic, and that's going to completely rock Liquid. Adren, he should be able to save this AWP. He actually goes for the peek. He takes the risk.
Please don't.
Please just live, Adren. Your team really needs you to hold on to this op. And he will.
14-13, and you were pointing out the money on Liquid is going to be simply not worth it. And this, I mean, if they forced up now, that would be, I think that would be a big waste. They have a 2-round loss bonus. They're going to have a third one. With the money that they have, they're going to have enough to make a reasonable buy. And that's sort of a way of saying let's at least sort of end this map with a sort of a strong punch here, and essentially play for overtime as well, unless they can make this AWP on the Adren work.
Well, Adren confirms that, yeah, of course. I mean, they haven't really changed anything. JW still camped out in T-spawn, looking for the gap shot. They're playing very aggressive on Catwalk this time around, however, Liquid. Nitro pushed up close with that P250. He's got Elige there to back him up, but Elige's only got the USP, so they really don't have a whole lot of firepower to work with right now. And in the meantime, Fnatic, they've successfully taken over Long again. That's been a key part of their battle plan for the most part in this T side. Getting a man out onto Long, getting that lurk player involved. Olafmeister's on the other side and upper dark control. So now everything is panned out nicely here for Fnatic. They have most of the control of mid. The last part that they're going to have to start worrying about is Catwalk, because dark clear, mid clear for now, and Long, they had control of it.
It's a great boost up on Catwalk there to take a steeper angle than you'd normally be able to, which means Fnatic, if they walk in there, they're sort of mentally not going to be prepared for it. They might walk right into an AWP shot, but it's obviously taking a completely different route on the map here.
They're just rinsing and repeating at this point. They're saying, okay, we've been so successful on the B site so far the past couple of rounds. You know what? We'll leave JW solo in mid. He'll watch out for the rotators coming through, and then we'll just go ahead and just rush again onto that B site. Whole group together, and it's just a wrecking ball. Miley Cyrus style.
Well, except obviously much sexier here when Fnatic are doing it.
Obviously.
It's going to be a good 25 seconds left here, but they're not worried at all. They know that they have complete control of everything right now. And so, I mean, if you're calling, and I'm glad I'm not on Liquid right now, you've lost a lot of rounds in this B bomb side, right? You could be very tempted to say, let's stack, let's just put more effort on B. But if that's exactly the round that Fnatic are expecting it and they manage to counter it, everything could fall apart. So you can't get too rattled by the fact that they've gone B and won a lot. You've got to keep your cool somehow. It's a great shot there, and they get the second orb, and that's very important, obviously.
Oh, like I'm arching my eyebrows right now because this is a huge find for Liquid. They wouldn't be able to afford this second op, if I'm honest. No, they wouldn't be able to afford the second op.
No.
So getting donated an op by Fnatic, if this comes back to bite Fnatic are going to be raging so hard. Just because now Simple and Adren, they both have the sniper rifles. So this is it. We're going into it. The home stretch, 2 rounds left in this map in regulation time. It's 15-13, and Fnatic, they have all the money to go for the full buy. No worries for them. But Liquid now, thanks to that second op, it's huge. Simple can now drop an M4 for his teammate, no problem, and they'll actually have a pretty reasonable buy.
Oh, that was a good chance to shoot a couple of teammates there as well. Didn't quite happen. Adren's shocking and surprising everyone. But here it goes. It is match and map point. Fnatic, they've had a very good comeback into the second half here, and they've just slowly and steadily been showing and reminding anyone who was doubting that this is exactly why they're the best team in the world. So we'll see if they can also follow it through. I'd be surprised if they couldn't. Liquid are going to have to find 2 rounds in a row here to play overtime, then win the overtime. It's just not an easy task.
I love it from Liquid. Look at this. Elise pushed up into Longhouse. They really haven't done much of this. But the D-Flash is going to go through. Elise turns away. He sees the flash coming and reacts in time. Massive kill, taking out Flusha. And now some pressure on Fnatic. Finally, Liquid have something going their way.
Wow, JW, he could get caught here as well. Smoke going to go up once. They're going to... almost looked like that could have been it, but he does eat a little bit of grenade damage. So it's a good start for Liquid. It's obviously not quite done yet. And also over at the B-bomb side, Olofmeister is sneaking in here, and if he could find a kill on his own, that's going to really offset the defense a significant amount here. Smoke gets up again, and the bomb's still very far back towards the T-spawn, so Fnatic not committing to anything just yet. Oh, look at Olof, look how sneaky he's being. He actually has an angle here. He's going to go for the spray, but Simple will just straight shut him down. And now Liquid could play so defensively. They got the 3-on-5. They don't have to worry. They're going to be sneaking in there, and Adren picking up JW. God, Semler, is it really going to happen?
We're going the distance, Anders. We're going the distance. And if the pattern holds true, today has either been a day, it's been a day of overtimes and complete one-sided disasters.
Yeah.
And so we're in the 30th round.
Right, but the one, so just to say, Fnatic have money in this round to buy, and that obviously makes a big difference. They have 1 punch left, and that's enough. It could definitely be enough.
Man?
That's it.
That's it, man. Fnatic. But the double up worked. Olofmeister got picked by Simple. Adren had an impact on the other side. 2 HEs, so a little bit of miscommunication. Maybe some nerves showing there on Liquid's side. I mean, they are at the finish line here.
And look at this. So this is what I was talking about. You could be tempted to go for a heavy B defense. That's what they're doing now. And at least what they should do is convert this into a push into upper, because that would catch them off guard, right? They can't just... If they just stay on B, that is a huge risk. A massive, massive, massive risk to try and do.
But what have Fnatic been doing when they're under pressure? What has worked for Fnatic? B takes. And the wrecking ball, you know, the Miley B take, where they just go in as a unit and just swarm the site. And so Liquid right now, they can just sit here with 3, and they're banking on Fnatic going for what's worked in the past. And that bomb is dropped in Upper Dark right now. This is a huge read coming out from Liquid.
It really is.
If they stick to it, they just have to have faith in their call. And sometimes it comes to the point where you just have to make the call, you have to stick to the call, stick to the plan.
Mean, it seems to be what's happening right now. I can't even believe it. Simple in the middle, going to be shutting down Crims. Fnatic trying to go for it. 4 more kills, but we're going to be in overtime here in favor of Liquid. Hiko picking up 1. Hiko's going to go down to Flusha though. And the Fnatic trying to see if they can make their way in, but they're not expecting 3 people to be here. The stack is working. Simple picking up a kill. JW going down. It's Simple for the triple, and that's going to be overtime. Liquid showing some absolutely amazing strength here in this best of 1. They're trying to make it out of the group without losing a single map here.
Oh, I love it, man. That is real. That's going rock Flusha. Talk about shaking his confidence. He just got read like a book, Flusha. Liquid were 1 step ahead the entire way.
Right. Again, I have to emphasize, it is really, really not easy to make. You're right. Every time Fnatic's been under pressure, right? But Fnatic know this as well. They could just think, well, we've done it every time we've been under pressure. Let's just go A instead, right? It sounds simple, but you've got to be sort of you've got to be doubting yourself when you make that call anyway. Because if you put 3 people in B and they do a rush out long, the round is over before it's even like you just can't really do much. They're gonna smoke the cross, so you can't. You have to try and retake A. Exactly. Miles. It's so hard.
That'll come down to what'll make the difference in that scenario is individual performance. The two guys that you have over on the A side, one of them has to step up.
Yeah.
At least one kill, if not two,
yeah.
for you to have a chance to really, execute that retake on A. If it doesn't happen, yeah, you're in the doghouse. You're right. So I mean, I just love it, man. That 30th, that was just, to me, that's just beautiful CS. That's like, all right, we figured out what you want to do. We know we're going to stick to the call as well. And that's the key, because we've seen it cost teams in the past where they go for the hard 3 on B, but then they, 40 seconds left in the round, oh no, are they going to come B or not? Are they going to come B or not? And they start rotating a guy off, and that's where you get caught out, and that's where you die, and then everything falls apart. If you'd have just stuck to the plan.
So, I mean, what's also great about this play is that it's one of the few times where we get to see sort of the actual influence of the callers, right? Because very much of Counter-Strike, it's just the nature of Counter-Strike, you end up talking about headshots and incredible clutches, and that's all good, but sometimes these calls really make a difference, and stacking 3 people on B, man, that did it. That was too much. Because, again, because there are 3 people on B, there are 3 entrances to B, right? So every man can cover his own entrance, whereas if you only have 2, as soon as one of them goes down, and Hiko did die in the B bomb site, when Hiko dies and there are only 2 people, the last person has 3 entrances to cover, and that doesn't work. That's what Fnatic have been banking on all along,
Simple, he earned his pay in that round. We'll put it that way.
But he's been playing very well. It hasn't been super mad at jumping AWP Simple that we've been seeing, but he's been playing very well at the moment. Now, we're going to go into the game where it's overtime, and it is MR3 and 10,000 starting money. That means we're looking for the first team to get 19 rounds now. That's how you win this game, unless you go to more overtime. But in the first round of overtime here, it's going to be it. So regulation is done, and Adren is out on long. Smoke goes up, and he's aware that someone could be back there. Oh, what? He takes out Olof! He spots a single pixel! And only Olof's corpse is going to make it into the pit.
Alright, I'm seeing Moses shake his head. GB James has also got a big grin plastered on his face. I mean, that's that feel-good moment where it all comes together. And that's just like, you're just barely seeing like the hint of a shadow go through that smoke. So with Dren, that's the kind of shot a top upper hits. Adren is hitting a whole new level that we haven't seen in so long. It is so sick to see. It's redemption time, Anders. But let's see now. I mean, it is going to be the hard push. There it is. This is Elise's turf. He's got 2 kills coming into it. And Fnatic, they get cold cocked. They get stopped. And Hiko, he's looking for more. He's going to go for the hard flash into mid. He does actually flash out Elise, and that kind of costs him. But Elise doesn't matter. He's still going to get the kill on JW. And plus than that, he's looking for the fight. And he's going to take it to Hiko. He gets the 1 kill. Looking for more, but that just gets dunked by Simple. Big individual plays again. 1 from him, the man on your screen right there, Adren, with the opening kill on Olaf, but then Elige going up. Cat, they're just not having any luck there at all, Fnatic. It's a shame that we have X-Ray on in this one case, I'll say, but yeah, you see it, or you just want to see the top of Olafmeister's head going across the top of the smoke there.
I don't even know if you would have. I think you'd have to be tuned into the game on a whole new level. I mean, that could not have been a lot of pixels showing that. Well, grenade into the middle there to make the crossing a bit more safe. It used to be the people who put up smokes, but now they just use HE grenades. Flashbang all the way back here from Adren, and you got to be careful. This is not a good corner to be caught in, especially not when they have a Molotov on Flusher. So Flusher can Molotov that exact position. He's not gonna, because he's falling back, but that's a little bit scary for Adren. You could definitely get caught there.
Interesting, because they had the info on Adren as well. Flusher did get the tag on him before he got flashed. So, bit surprising to see. I guess Fnatic, they just don't want to hang around. They don't want to deal with the Team Liquid retake. Instead, they know that retake is going to come in onto A long. 3 players are there for Liquid. So what are they going to do, Fnatic? They're going to put the pressure on mid, and they're going to catch Liquid out of position, or attempt to. Now they can try and go for that B split as the smoke blooms on CT.
And this time Liquid don't have the stuff to deal with it, but a straight shot through the light pole there as Krim's going to be going down. He legs the next player, but he can't kill him out. That's Dennis finally going down to Hiko, and Hiko trying to play the edge of the smoke, then running through the window once again. JW going to get the kill on Hiko then, and that turns it into a 3-on-3 and makes it very, very tough. But because Liquid already won the first round, they can go for the retake here, and they obviously should. You're only playing 3 rounds on the CT side, so you might as well just throw away what you can here and actually go and see if you could do it. Olafmeister in upper dark. If he goes down, that gives an opening, but it's not going to happen. He gets tagged, but not going to be killed.
Yeah, he gets headshot as well. Elige is on point. Gets that first shot in the Adren and Nitro. Now they realize Olafmeister's been dinked, so they know that he's low, but JW holds the angle correctly. He takes out Adren. Nitro is there to remove that threat, but it's just not going to be good enough. Nitro at this point just has to back off, hold on to the AWP, and carry that over so that they will be able to actually, maintain some kind of economy going into this. Although, wow. Okay then, Nitro. Not gonna happen, bro. Olafmeister is not gonna get caught off guard. Okay,
yeah, they'll have the money anyway. Just 9,000 on Nitro, so that's gonna be all right. What I was wondering is if they actually gave a second ult to Fnatic, if that could have been, because obviously Fnatic gonna buy whatever they can this round. It's the final round of the first half of overtime. Look at that.
Sick shot to start, yeah, and even gets the leg shot as well.
And if this had been a kill, then boom, they probably win the round straight up.
Done. It would have been done completely. You're right. Because I mean, it's like Simple is still alive on that site. 2 players on that site with Fnatic committed to it wouldn't have panned out. But Flushlight, he's late onto long, very late in fact. A bit of a delayed push from him, and he actually manages to thread his way back there. So now there's a little bit of pressure here on Liquid on the A defense, and it's a 1-for-1 trade. Elige will be able to shut down Flushlight, but not before they lose Nitro.
JW, oh, and the smoke goes up. He counts to 2 and then takes the shot. Mexico going to be frustrated that he walked right into that. 4-on-3. Now, this is where I'd love to see Liquid do something proactive. Try and play against Fnatic right now. Either that or try and stack somewhere unreasonable, you know. But if you just wait with a sort of 2-1 split in either bomb site, chances are Fnatic are going to take this round. So I always feel like they're under pressure to try and take some initiative back here.
At the same time, they're kind of going for that catch-all approach, aren't they? Adren is posted on Catwalk. Elige is now going to focus on Long, and they're just going to sack Simple, basically. They're putting a lot of faith in Simple to just hold down that B site, but Simple's very far away on the rotate. And so it is all pressure on Elige and Adren now. They're going to have to hold the line when this push comes through, because Fnatic now, they've pushed out onto Long. They've got control. All 4 players here as well. So once again, going for that group tactic, the buddy system, it's in place.
And look at how many grenades Fnatic have. That's going to make this take so much easier. Adren trying to get into position. He actually picks the smoke down off. Goes for a second. Oh my god, Adren shutting down Dennis as well. Blind shot through, and if he hit that, might have had to arrest him at the end of the day here. It's a 2-on-3. Crims and JW are left and trying to see if they can make it out. They have no idea what just hit them. Jumping shots coming through as well. JW trying to plant the bomb. Oh, he's going to go down. It leads to the shot. Crims now alone in a 1-on-3. 10 seconds. 2 Tech9's kill. Simple peeking out. He's very low. Oh, and he's going to get the shot. There it is. 17-16. And Liquid winning 2 out of 3 rounds on the CT side. They're favored to win this now. Utter madness is what we're witnessing here. Absolute madness.
Let's see it all in replay, yeah. I mean, Adren, this is huge. He catches Olafmeister with a nade in his hand. They were going for the hard bombardment onto that A site with the HEs, but Adren just completely turns it around. That's the individual play coming into it, man. That is actually the individual, you know, and it's just Adren keeps on delivering. But getting 2 kills like that completely changes the scenario. It brings it back Liquid's way. Yeah. Just amazed that Adren is able to hit this level so consistently right now. I mean, it's been since the beginning of the map through and through. He's at 26 kills. The only guy who's really woken up and gone past him is Simple,
yeah,
which is actually pretty good. I mean, that's what Simple's supposed to do. He's supposed to drop 30 bombs.
And that's going to be scary for Fnatic as well, because Simple wasn't there in the same way in the beginning. It was like a good 5 rounds before Simple started waking up a bit. But now he seems to be on point as well.
Man, I mean, what is going on right now? This is, I mean, it's all, like, the stars are aligning here for Liquid as well. Because Olafmeister, he's sitting at 15 kills. He's bottom fragging for Fnatic. How often does that happen?
We've only seen that. We've only seen that a couple of times, right? Where all of in big tournaments has sort of. I mean, I can only think of like maybe 1 or 2 games. There wasn't that one game in Cluj where he was a bit out of it.
Yeah, but then he woke up in the second half a little bit. I mean.
Yeah, and that was the best of 3 or something. So I think he even came back later in that best of 3 and played well. But it really rarely happens.
Oh, this is beyond sick.
What a mad game.
And it's following him. This is it, overtime.
Right,
and this is the North American hope. I mean, we've seen it. Well, Splice kind of, we got what we expected out of Splice. Cloud9, same. Although Cloud9 have been playing a little bit better recently going into it. Yeah, I mean, they still go out.
The way they Cloud9, it's such a shame, right?
They were in the group of death. I mean,
they were in the group of death, but I mean, we would have thought that they could have put a way more of a fight on Dust 2 against G2, right? But so that was just like a crazy one. But you do have JW here. This is just, you know, it's just unfortunate for Hiko, but
yeah, he sees the angle. That's why.
Yeah, it's just good timing from JW, you know.
He sees the angle of that smoke coming through. He's like, wait a second, you can only throw that smoke if you're holding up close, bro.
Yeah, but it's still like, how many seconds do you count to? You know, you could count to 4 or 2 or just shoot straight away. Like, there's no right or wrong there, but it's some happy timing for JW. Now, instead here, we're going to go into the second half of overtime. Again, 2 rounds away, our team Liquid and Fnatic. They like pushing B. Maybe Liquid have just decided to throw a little bit back at them here because they are set up for it. The Molotov, though, buys some time for Fnatic, and JW in the door here actually gets the wrong timing. He's flashed as well. well, trying to see if he can actually take this shot, and they're not making their way through. Crim's getting a kill. Liquid, they're so slow with this push right now. Finally, Nitro getting a kill, and JW trying to see if he can get that random bullet through the door, and again he hits some smoke plumes. Eli's going to be going down. Hiko in the middle, sprays one, and he's going to continue to hold it down. Falling back in, there's still a bomb, but Dennis almost catching him, and Hiko, he has to stay alive. He is the linchpin here in this defense. If he goes down upper, his two teammates are going to get sandwiched in the kills, and the fact that he's falling back this far, that really worries. Now, there is one Molotov on Adren, and he's going to finally put it up in the doorway here. Fnatic, they've got the time for the retake. They've certainly got the kits for it, and this is going to be an all-deciding 3-on-3. It's very, very important for Liquid's chances.
And they're out of nades, Liquid, and there we go. JW, he finds the angle from upper dark. There's no longer a smoke to block it off. Fnatic will smoke themselves off, and it's all on Hiko now. He holds the line, going for the free fire as well, and it is all on Hiko, the clutch master himself. 1v1 versus Flusha. And that bomb is ticking down, and there's just not enough time. Flusha gets forced off the box, and so long as Hiko is alive, this is not going to happen. Not enough time, and Flusha, he sprays the air in frustration, knowing that it was all on him to come through there for his team. Liquid, another key round picked up.
Now, if we had a sort of a heart rate monitor that we had put on Hiko, when he's standing in the smoke and those bullets are just all around him, you can hear them just sort of...
he's freaking out, dude.
Whiffing by him. That's going to be so scary.
And then Flusha, man, this is the rare situation where Fnatic fail to get the kills, where they wait, you know, so patiently for their opponents to make the play in these kind of diffuse situations. It actually came back to bite Fnatic this time due to Hiko's magnificent play there. And so now it is, I mean, it's all on the line here. Team Liquid, they're on match point.
18-16, you're right. They got to do it in one of two rounds here, and Fnatic, as a response, have gone for the double up setup, which did save them earlier as well. It's turned out to be very powerful. Liquid have to keep the focus up here. At this level, especially when you go into overtime, and this is actually one of the big problems if you're a team with sort of less experience, is that overtime you start to make different kinds of mistakes. The pressure is much higher, even sort of stuff that's considered basic Counter-Strike, you forget a couple of things and then suddenly it all falls apart. So Fnatic have a big advantage playing in overtime, I would say. Dennis with an interesting push here, where he's pushed up against the box, sliding up against it, I think.
Yeah, that's just a little bit of a clever angle. Your head is just barely going to peek over the edge. What you're really hoping to do is just change the usual angle by just a couple of feet. That split second it would take for somebody coming up cat to react, that's what you're banking on. But now he decides to change it up, and he's going to get an easy kill onto Nitro. Two players remain on. One the leash, pushing up into CT, is going to pick up two. How does this even happen? Olofmeister and Pitt finally going to have his say. Takes out a leash, but it's still a man advantage going into the retake for Fnatic on this A site.
We do have the duo as well. Hiko and Simple here to try and see if they can win in there. Simple shutting down Olofmeister. They shouldn't even have been around, but Elige made it so simple. Looking at the CT spawn, and he just misses him by a pixel. He's going to go for the repeat. Crims takes him out. Now it's all on Hiko. He gets the first shot in on JW, and Crims has to try and clutch this in a one-on-one. Hiko still alive up on this bomb site. Jumping comes in one. He knows where he is. He goes for it again. He sprays. Hiko's still alive. Goes for it. There's the headshot. Crims coming up with a triple. He's going to have enough time for the defuse, and we're going to go full distance of the overtime as well. Wow, 17-18.
Perfect. Flusha used to be the king of clutch for Fnatic way back, but since Crims has joined the roster, it's been all about Crims. In those clutch scenarios, he always delivers for Fnatic, and the same can be said for Hiko. He's, without a doubt, the last man you want to have alive in those sorts of scenarios. He just doesn't feel the pressure. He hits the shots, so you have to see two massive clutch forces colliding here in this round, and it's going to be Crims. Of course he goes to the pistol. Of course he hits the headshot. So sick to keep Fnatic in this. And now, well, they actually have a chance at a second overtime here, Fnatic. They're right on the brink of keeping this alive.
Well, Flash is going out. Really push out on Long here, and Adren actually getting flashed. Otherwise, that could have been a really good kill. Molotov raining in, but not doing too much damage just yet. And we're either looking at double overtime or Liquid stealing it away right at the edge here. What a marathon game. Not as bad as earlier with Mousesports and Flipside, but still.
I'm loving it, Anders. This is what it's all about. Matches like these. And for once, between both continents, it's always been Europe versus Europe. Now we have a North American team going toe-to-toe with Fnatic. It's been so long since we've been able to say that.
Yeah, like a decade, probably. Simple, taking this, and again, this is not the normal way of peeking. It's not that it's completely unheard of, it's just that it could definitely catch people off guard. And we saw earlier in the tournament, or earlier in this match, that the Flusher sort of was expecting it. Flusher, and actually they've got 2 UMPs on Fnatic, so I mean, even winning the round, they just don't have a lot of money, and that's maybe going to be a big problem for them here. Liquid making their way up long, and once again, they have a bit of a linchpin in Leash down in lower dark. Olof going to get 2 kills before finally they take out Dennis. It's a bit of a refine. Flusher with an excellent kill. These UMPs definitely not slowing Fnatic down. They're doing a tremendous amount of damage with them. Simple's making his crossover, but there it is. Fnatic going to put us into double overtime.
And they keep their cool in the end. Liquid, they kind of just got bogged down trying to get across. They were looking for that pick, and Fnatic, they just didn't give it to them. They just kept spraying right through the smoke. And because Liquid are getting all clumped up, they just aren't going anywhere. They get caught out in the open, and it just comes back to bite them.
Now, I really think the further this goes, the more it's going to favor Fnatic. I think Fnatic are more likely to sort of mentally and emotionally stabilize, and Liquid are more likely to get frustrated and feel like, if we haven't closed out this game yet, maybe we just can't, you know.
Exactly. I mean, that's the difference between, you know, the greatest team in CS history, who just thrive in these sorts of clutch situations, these high pressure situations, versus, you know, Liquid, obviously, who have so much on their shoulders. And you're right to say, the longer this lasts, that pressure is just going to keep mounting, because all eyes in NA are watching those guys right now. They're so close to pulling it off, and if they start thinking like that, if they start thinking, you know, we're so close, we can just do this, we just got to get it done. These last 2 rounds, they had 2 opportunities, and they weren't able to do it.
Yeah, and I do want to point out as well, if we start seeing small mistakes, you know, some of you think like, surely someone at this level shouldn't be making that kind of mistake. That does happen when you're under this much pressure. Suddenly you forget, you know, to check a corner you should check. You make a bad call that you shouldn't have made. It really gets quite heavy. But this, I think, this is where the game is the most fun. This is where you get the most out of Counter-Strike, because you get some players. I feel like if you're very skilled, and you know, someone like Simple, someone like Hiko, like that, very skilled players can only be tested in this environment, right? You have to sort of strip them of everything else, and really, that's where you get to see how good are they? You know, are they just like an 8 out of 10, or are we talking 10 out of 10 here?
But not only that, right? You know, sometimes you just don't get to see what a team is capable of, because they lose a couple of key rounds in regulation time, and they just never have the economy going through. They're always limited in some way. In overtime like this, where we have 10,000, those first couple of rounds, you have all the money for everything. So it really does come down to who's hitting their shots and who's got the tactics, who's actually the better team in this scenario. And well, right now, I mean, it's neck and neck.
We do obviously have the unbiased casting going on here, but you know, I think it would be exciting at least if Liquid could sort of follow this one through.
I'm losing faith in the caster curse right now, though, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, if it was working, I think Fnatic would have had it by now. So,
well, I mean, they kept it alive, so it's made like the.
They haven't lost the game. That's true. Maybe that's where we're at right now.
Liquid have been kicking it down, but you know, the curse just reaches out, grabs them by the ankle, stumbles them a little bit. Causes them to stumble, rather. Let's see, though. This is it, and wow, okay, sit down, Simple. JW has something to say.
He even spotted him going over the top of the box, so he was perfectly prepared for it.
And Olofmeister just walked through their own Molotov. Hiko, is he going to expect this kind of aggression?
Well, now he is. Olof, he's sort of giving it away, but it's still not making damage for them to punish him. They're going to do some good grenade damage here. Olof still in the corner, taking a couple of shots through. That seemed, I think, a little bit slobby, maybe.
It was a little scary, for sure, but they still have the man advantage. He doesn't die, and that's the important bit. Olaf, he puts a little bit of pressure on Liquid. That's going to keep them guessing here at top long. That means that they have to keep somebody there to make sure that he can't go for the backstab anytime soon. And in the meantime, JW just annihilates Elige in mid. So now it's going to come down to a Dren. He's delivered so far. Can he actually keep this pace up? He needs to find the kill on Flusha, and Flusha's in such a clever spot right now. Oh.
How much patience does a Dren have? Well,
sit down.
Enough for a kill. Complete whack-a-mole there. Elige, on the other hand, actually died because he lacked patience, because they had put a smoke up in JW's angle, and Elige went for the peek before the smoke bloomed, so that's a bit of a shame. Now, Olof is in the pit, and because he's low on health, there is a chance for Liquid, I think, to make this a 3-3 if they can just get the kill on Olof, and they can't really take too much damage either. Nitro going to be leading the charge. Olof is here, and he hasn't really any clue. Finally, I think he's going to realize that they're coming. Flashbang goes out, and Olof, can he get this kill? Nitro instantly shutting him down, but he himself dropped down to 12 health. Dennis up in Goose in a very good position, and instantly shuts down a Dren. And going to be tough for Liquid now with 10 seconds left. They're trying to see if they can make it up onto the side here. Dennis with a brilliant defense so far. Hiko, he's going to get the kill, but they're so close. He tries to see if he can hold it down. He gets another one. 10 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. Oh, no, he can't find the kill in time. Hiko, he gets all 3 players, but it's just past the mark. That's going to be heartbreaking.
My mouth is just hanging open right now, because if he'd have had like 4 more bullets in that AK, he would have got that kill in time. I mean, how is Hiko so on point? We get this is the replay of JW at the beginning. That straight duel with Simple, boom, headshot as Simple crouches in, and then obviously the one on the leash here in mid. I mean, JW, that was a big round from him as well, but Hiko, as the last man alive, Hiko just hits this completely different level. And wow, okay, Simple getting revenge on JW this round.
Not only that, but they also tagged Flusher. You could tell going across there while the replay was going on. Dennis pushing all the way to top mid here, and he's going to find the bomb and someone picking it up as well. Nitro, he was aware that someone could be very, very close, but they got to be careful right here. It is 5 versus 4. Oh, he's setting up and he gets executed. Dennis, absolutely no mercy at all. Going to put up the Molotov as well, and the bomb is right there. Simple. If he misses that shot, he goes down, and Fnatic probably steal it away. That's a very dangerous peek over at Long Elige, not getting caught by Olofmeister, was trying to sneak up there. Crimson Flusher, how did they get back in this round?
Yeah, it's such a difficult position there for Dennis. It's a huge risk to take. You're pushing all the way up to the top, but unless you get that second kill, you're pretty much done, because then you're just going to get swarmed from all angles. So, I mean, he drops the bomb carrier, sure, but he just gets sacked. Well, now, 19-18, 2 men left alive here for Fnatic, and well, kind of wondering, it's going to come down to individual play here. And Flusha, he's just going to have to hit that timing, but the flash is perfect, forces him off the angle, and now life gets a bit difficult. He's going to get caught out in the open by Elige. And just like that, it's just Crims all alone. He's hoping to find Adren, and he will get the kill in the end. Sick shot from Crims.
Definitely a good job there, but obviously, round is pretty much stuck. Crims being very angry.
Wow, full MLG! Did he just teabag him? I think he just teabagged him.
The 360 teabag?
The 360 teabag, I mean.
I think that's a new kind of MLG that I've never heard of. Look, what I'm also noticing here is obviously Astralis is actually standing right next to Fnatic watching, and Navi is standing right next to Liquid watching here. So we've got a lot of other pros. Moses still behind Liquid looking super nervous at the moment.
You nervous, Moses? Just shrugs.
Not at all, not at all.
I love it, man. This is so good. But it is going to be a tie situation now. Liquid, they bring it back to 19-19. This next round is going to be crucial, especially because it's been so expensive for Fnatic.
32 kills currently on Simple.
It's expensive for Fnatic. Hiko wipes them out in the first round. Only Crim survives the second. Look at the state of their economy. They have no money left for the buy. Liquid can come out ahead in this first half of OT. Yeah, that was actually pretty slick, but yeah, okay, we're gonna, wow, thanks. The producer just really wants to get in on this.
Of course.
Channels is inner happy. The 360 teabag. Okay then. Going through the motions, but you know what happened to Dren? That doesn't tilt him, he just grinned. He's like, sure, I'm getting to you, I'm getting under your skin.
Well, Molotov there to secure some long control. Something we haven't seen too much from pretty much either team. There's definitely like a good couple of months where everyone would essentially double grenade and Molotov long. So just to make sure the terrorists would never have long control, right? It's almost 100% sure that the best you could do if you tried to get that peak was essentially to trade, right?
Right.
And so we haven't seen too much of that. And I guess people just stopped rushing long as much, and it's not worth throwing the grenades. Like that's how the metagame changes back and forth anyway. But this time there was a Molotov early on from Fnatic, and you could tell that Simple wanted to take that peak there, and if he had stayed a second, he would have had a chance, but it was just a little bit too hot. Too hot in the hot tub somewhere.
Too hot in the hot tub. Damn, we haven't used that line in ages, man.
But bringing it back. Well, we're also bringing it back, seems like a B-split push, and actually that might be very good for it. If they kill Crims here, this bomb shot's going to fall immediately in the middle, getting a kill, and there it is. They trade 3 for 1, and that's going to be Olof and Dennis now left, and they obviously have to go for it. It's the last round of this half of overtime, so they've got a C-set 75 and an M4. Liquid are really putting out a massive amount of strength in this one map. We're playing into double overtime. So much pressure against the best team in the world. And right now, they actually look like they're about to do it here.
Oh, the focus, there it is, the big headshot from Dennis. He starts things off. He goes holding close to low on HP. Big spray comes in from him. 1-for-1 trade. And now it's the 1v2. Olofmeister roasting. And Nitro, he'll have mercy. He'll end his suffering. And it's going to be 20 rounds for Liquid in this second round of overtime. 19 rounds for Fnatic. And we're looking for the first team to get to 22 here. So Liquid are now just 2 rounds away from securing a spot in the quarterfinals, from playing on the main stage in a sold-out arena here in Columbus, Ohio. It is everything. It is the dream for these players right now. That's within their grasp, Anders. They can reach out for it. It's just there.
I mean,
it's not a mirage.
Well, it could still be.
Is it? Exactly.
It could still be. This is, I mean, Again, it's very impressive. It's very hard to play this level. It absolutely is. They've won 2 out of 3 rounds on the T side here, which is sort of par for the course of what we've been seeing so far in this match. I mean, the regulation as well. Most of the T rounds will run on the T side, so you have to expect that trend is going to continue. Right now, they need to win 2 more on the CT side, and
this is where
how are they going to do
exactly
that?
This is where the mind games start to come in, and Flush is going to be having a bit of a powwow there with Vugo in the meantime during this downtime, this pause in the half, because they started to get red at the end. Fnatic, they got hard countered in the last round. That's how Liquid brought it into overtime. They just got obliterated with a sick read from Liquid, where they're just like, we know you want to go B. We're going to put 3 players on B and annihilate you as you try and come out onto the site. Fancy that. Put that in your pipe and smoke it, Flusha. Now what is Flusha going to come up with? What is he going to do here to catch Liquid off guard?
I don't even know at this point here. This is too deep for me, Samler. I can't keep up. Like, the problem is it becomes obviously, to some extent, this is sort of a rock paper scissors kind of thing. You could probably try and guess, they went rock the last straight time. Could win something else. We don't have anywhere near the experience at playing it. I mean, we have no experience playing at this level, but we have no experience with sort of this type of scenario so much. It becomes so hard to guess. There has to be sort of a level of intuition and a level of game sense, whatever that means in this context. That means you have to be the best, to make this work. We know Fnatic obviously are, and we know that that's why they should be able to do this. But Liquid, that's why it's so surprising that Liquid have shown all this. I mean,
Liquid have pushed Fnatic to the limits here. This is what's incredible about it, is that Fnatic, I'm sure, were coming into this match. Maybe they were expecting a bit of a close one, but they were expecting to win it pretty cleanly, I think. Maybe 10 rounds for Liquid, and then, Fnatic, they skip on into the quarterfinals as expected, and they go on to win the whole thing as expected. But no, Liquid are saying, change of plans here, boys. You're on NA turf now. This is our home place, and now we're going to take the fight to you. And we're in the lead. 20 rounds for Liquid, 19 for Fnatic, and it is that CT side. And Fnatic, they start things off with a default play. So they're spread out all across the map. 1 man in Longhouse, 1 man in Dark, 2 in mid, and of course JW camping back in T-spawn with that AWP, waiting to see what Liquid are going to do. But they have full map control at this point, and now they have full map control. They force Adren off of that angle on Catwalk.
And did Adren really... I think that shot went through the side of the wall and tagged him in the face. So that was the aim punch, right? So normally it makes sense for him not to buy head armor, because the one-shot AK bullet, there's a headshot anyway, he dies in 1 bullet, except if it goes through a wall, then he survives. And if he had armor, then could he have hit the shot? Because then he wouldn't have been aim punched. Like, there's some very, very small details here that might actually make a huge difference. Well, he's still alive, and he did tag up Crims. They traded almost exactly equal damage, so it's still not the end of the world here. Nitro now taking position with the M4A1. It should be an easy kill of the first player. He's very low on health. That's Crims coming into it here. 35 seconds left, and they're trying to see if they can make their way on and put the bomb down here. Fnatic taking ages. The bomb is now dropped. They try and make the cross, and Crims low as well. Nitro close to the site, but he can't stop the bomb from going down. 20 seconds here, but Simple will certainly can. There's not going to be a bomb at 20 seconds. They actually deny it. JW is miles away. Liquid pushing themselves again onto a match and map point here. JW doesn't have the time to take this fight. Elige will shut him out, and it's going to be 21-19.
And rinse and repeat, and there's not enough praise for Nitro at that point, staying alive on A slope, because they saw him, because Fnatic had fantastic flashes going in, delayed flashes that allowed them to get close to the site, and they spotted out Nitro. So what a poor play would have been, a poor decision would have been, is just challenge, right, and try and take the fight with Fnatic and trade 1 for 1. But no, Nitro, he had faith in Adren to get 1 pick, to buy some time, to buy some room to maneuver with, and they just dragged it out to the point where Fnatic just got whittled down. They never actually got on there. They were planning, guess what, Simple's there to deny it. It was a perfect round from Liquid. They're just hitting everything right. They're just doing everything right. And now, it's the timeout coming in from Fnatic. They realize, well, we tried to change things up. We didn't go for the B play. We cleared out Catwalk. We made Liquid fear that could happen. But Liquid, they were already set up with the crossfire set up in mid. So they were waiting for the B split. They actually successfully managed to just completely deny the A play. Now Fnatic have really got to be wondering what the hell they can do here. Is it a quick take on long? Or just a straight B rush? I think those are like the 2 options. They have shown that they like to go for the quick take on long, but a straight B rush, we haven't really seen that from them.
There was one round where where Liquid at least showed some weakness in the middle, where Dennis sort of just simply ran out middle and ran into window, right? Yes. So I mean, at this point, you're also probably trying to, if you're Flusher right now, or Flusher and Vugo and the rest of the team, you know, you're trying to sort of run through your all the rounds that have been in regulation. Think, what weaknesses did we discover throughout this, and can we try and see if we can exploit any of them? And this is a really hard task, and it's one of the areas in which Fnatic are, well, they're not anymore, but they used to be almost uniquely prepared in the fact that they did have like an incredible playbook. They have analysts that sort of, that not just Vugo but other people too, that sort of go through you know, tactics and all those things, right? So they have like a huge amount of preparation. Now is the time to see if they can put some of this in.
I'm watching Vugo as well, but I don't see him doing a whole lot of talking right now. We don't really see Vugo do a whole lot of talking right now, or these days. I'm wondering if it's more like pre-match preparation where he has his say.
I think unless it's relevant, I think they probably ask him if they want his input on it, right? So here's the other thing, right? Where there's a lot of tournament left, and Fnatic, if they lose this game, all they're going to have to do is play a best of 3, and you have to expect they could probably take care of that now. So what's interesting is later in this game, and when we go into the stadium or everything, assuming Fnatic makes it all the way there, then is the fact that they've been tested this much on Dust 2 going to make a difference? We made the same point yesterday when they were playing and they sort of just ran over one team. Then, you know, now they're in a position where they will have to show something on here, right? They've shown some of these B-split pushes. Everyone else is watching them and sit down and say, well, let's watch the demo and see what they actually did. That is a factor as well going into the late stage of the tournament. Now, we are in the second half of the second overtime here. Liquid 1 round away from winning against Fnatic. It'll be an absolutely sensational story if it works out.
Against Fnatic, from Liquid, basically the setup. Nitro, they have that crossfire established on mid once again. So Liquid, they're trying to go for a bit of the catch-all. They get a Legion to pit. Adren will be there to support him from car. And we can already see the focus on long. So Liquid are starting to think, okay, are they going to go for the long play here? Delayed long take from Fnatic. They're trying to cover all the angles right now, Liquid, and they end up falling into a bit of a catch-all solution here, a 2-1-2 setup. And Nitro, it's with just a bit of a lean onto the B split because of Nitro's position boosted up on the box in CT. So they're counting on, you know, being able to execute those retakes again. You know, let them get up catwalk if they want.
I would say right now a lot is I think it's a good chance it's going to be a B split with JW being alone over at long. I think he might just be waiting around here for a while, and then he'll reconnect and probably hold the back lines if they try and go for the B split. So they're already out middle. Olaf and try and see if he can sneak his way in. Nitro now. This position made a bit ineffective by the fact that the smoke is there, but he hears them running through. Is he going to be able to look over? He will. They're right there. He tries to go for it. He gets the kill. And Simple actually getting up both the kills. The third one as well. We're just 2 kills away. Flusher going down, and now it's all on JW. Liquid, they may have just done it. Nitro, he got the spot, but he was Simple with 3 kills, and JW now all alone with 18 seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, Liquid, they will have made it through into the quarterfinals here at the MLG Columbus Major. He goes down to Hiko, and there it is, 22-19. Liquid, they do it.
And the hug. And they've actually, I mean, the story, we're going to hear about it on the analyst desk, I'm sure. There's so many storylines